the Comcast Business Studios, 97.5, The Fanatic. John Kincade, Andrew Salciunas. This is Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I imagine everybody's happy today. I think if there's anything at all that you can find to complain about.
Can I say if anyone isn't happy today that I don't want to hear from them?
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, honestly.
Usually we like to hear from both sides.
Nah, not today. Don't want to hear from them.
You're blocked off today if you're on
done.
one side. It is Kincade and Salciunas on what will be a fun, spirited victory Monday morning where the conversation is about the game. Woo! It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
This is Kincade and Salciunas. Yesterday, in a battle for Pennsylvania, the Eagles beat the Pittsburgh Steelers to earn their 10th straight victory and bring their record to 12-2 and get one step closer to winning the NFC East. Now they have a chance to take the crown next week when they travel to Landover, Maryland to take on the Washington Commanders. Kincade and Salciunas. John Kincade, Andrew Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And a good Monday morning, Philadelphia. I'm Andrew Salciunas alongside my man, John Kincade. Johnny, happy victory, where we get to talk about a game Monday morning.
I have wanted to do this show since the drive home last night. And I listened to Kevin Cooney and Ray Dunn on the post-game show, navigating the terrible parking lots,
it's a horrible parking lot,
and the rain that started. But it is a beautiful Monday, despite the rain. Be careful out there, everybody.
The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday, 27-13. And with all the talk about last week and the passing offense and how it needs to improve, and is there turmoil inside the locker room between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, the comments made by Brandon Graham, the reporting that was done throughout the week by the people that cover the team for a living, talking about tension between Hurts and A.J. Brown. That got solved pretty early in the game, where Hurts looked at A.J. Brown quickly. The over-under of 16.5 receiving yards in the first quarter for A.J. Brown hit pretty quickly.
That went easy.
Jalen Hurts, 25 of 32 for 290 yards and 2 touchdowns. A.J. Brown, 8 catches, 110 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Smith, another guy. We talked about this on the pregame show yesterday, Johnny. All this talk between Hurts and A.J. Brown, we didn't even mention Devontae Smith all week long. Maybe he was upset by the amount of targets and receptions that he's had this season.
That's because he kept it to himself.
He did. 11 catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown. What a great day for the passing offense, which was talked about ad nauseum last week. And what a great day for the Eagles as a whole, beating the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-13. And just once again, checking off another box of, hey, we can be a Super Bowl contender. We could be in New Orleans in just a couple of months.
Oh, no. I'm already singing it. We're going to New Orleans. We're going to New Orleans. We're going to New Orleans, folks. Detroit's too injured. The Eagles' offense and defense are better than Kansas City. The Bills just gave up 86 points in 2 games. The Eagles have given up 86 points in their last 5 games. They've already beaten Green Bay. They've already beaten the Rams. They've already beaten the Ravens. Already beaten the Steelers. This is the best team in football with the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL, points per game. In a million years, and there is nobody in this town who believed that was going to happen. I thought 12. I thought 12 was going to make us smile.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
They're at 12, John.
That's incredible.
There's still 3 games left. They're at 12. The Eagles are 12-2 with 3 games left to be played.
And that was where you, Connor, and I all said before the season they're going to be 12-5.
Yeah.
This team has exceeded every expectation. Everyone. I would say the only one they haven't met, and it's just a little off, is points per game on offense.
Right.
They're 8th as we begin the
now,
show
a lot of it is because of how much they ran the football during this winning streak, which kills clock, which doesn't give you as many possessions.
Absolutely.
Which doesn't give you as many opportunities to score points offensively. But yesterday, they answered the call. Yesterday, the question of whether or not they could win a game by passing the football against a defense that allows you to throw on them a little bit. They're just opportunistic, and they intercept the football pretty well. Jalen Hurts, 0 interceptions. Jalen Hurts, I don't think had a bad throw. Like, I don't remember a throw yesterday.
Where you go, yo, what are you doing, Jalen?
No, he dropped back 32 times and executed 25 of them in terms of completions, but the other 7, I don't believe, and we'll double check, I don't believe he had a turnover-worthy play.
No, I don't believe he did either.
He was incredible yesterday.
And more importantly, did you see just the jump in his step? There was an energy out of Jalen Hurts, the leader, yesterday that I believe we haven't seen as much, especially early in games.
Yeah.
They were focus driven, and it was wild. And the building reacted. The fans reacted to it, and they fed off of that. That was the happiest that building has been all year long.
Right.
Every game. That is the happiest the home fans have been. And they felt it. And they felt it early on. They felt that they could bully the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they bullied the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And I think we're all waiting for the same thing. Like, all right, how does this team react? We could find out pretty early on how this team will react to all the drama that happened this past week. And right away, I mean, it was boom, boom, boom. And I know they only got 3 on the opening drive, but still, it just looked different.
That felt good, though.
It looked good. It doubled their average. They've been averaging 1.4 points per first quarter. That field goal doubled it. And then obviously they finished with 10 points in the first quarter.
See, we're not hard to please.
And it just looked like they clicked from the very beginning to your leadership, to your extra jump in the step of everybody. And so today, have all your concerns been addressed? That's our question today at 610-632-0975. I understand that we send it a little open. If there are concerns, we don't want to hear from you. But go ahead, have at it.
Look, I'm joking around with that because we always are open to everybody.
Right, but I just don't know what's left.
I think what's left is the contrarian. Because, again, the resume is now good enough. You've dominated the Ravens and the Steelers, 2 of the top 4 teams in the AFC. You have beaten teams like high-flying Green Bay, the Rams. You've done your job. You've been road warriors.
And that Green Bay win was before they found this
figured
identity,
out
this team.
I would say the contrarian is the only one who has something to say today negative about.
And they
this
will
team.
always be around. The contrarian will always be here.
And because here's what you're going to do. The contrarian, if you go to work today and you navigate one of these people, and we all have them in our lives.
Oh, yeah, we do.
They are picking up the goalpost, and now they're going to move it. They're going to try to move it on you. Just say, I got no time for it today. You know you're just trying to get my goat because it makes no sense. This football team, Andrew, is the best team right now in the NFL. They weren't a month ago.
No, they weren't.
They are now. They weren't in September. They are now. And may they not be in January? Well, if they don't sustain what they're doing, they might not be. But if they sustain this level of effort, I'm finally going to check the bucket list item of the parade.
Which is amazing.
And I feel it. I felt the NFC title game from the beginning, but now I truly feel New Orleans is right there.
And the question of sustainability, I mean, all right, so Commanders try to take away A.J. Brown next week because A.J. Brown had a big game yesterday. All right, here's Saquon again. Here's Saquon, who only had 65 yards rushing yesterday. He'll go back to having 150 next week if they decide to drop more guys back in coverage. That's what the dream of this offense was from the very beginning. It just became one-sided with the passing offense in the first 4 weeks of the season, then became one-sided in the rushing offense during this winning streak. And look, it worked for them. Let's not say that it wasn't a good thing for them. It worked for them. Now it's maybe over this next 3 weeks trying to find the balancing act of pass and run. They're maybe closer to 50-50 by the end of this. Who knows? Because they were the most in terms of percentage rushing offense in the NFL. If they can find a way to balance this thing, and you saw how successful they were in the air just yesterday, of course it's sustainable. Try to take away one, and you'll get beat by the other.
Jalen Hurts' Super Bowl season completed 66.5% of his passes. Jalen Hurts this morning completing 69.2% of his passes, something that I would have told you he would have never have done.
Nice point, too.
How about the highest average pass yardage per reception? And right now he's sitting at 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. His Super Bowl season, his MVP season, 22 passing touchdowns,
Right.
6 interceptions.
And all
he's
those
right
rushing
there.
touchdowns, too.
He's got 3 games left. Oh, by the way, that's good you brought that up, Andrew, because yesterday he went over his 2022 rushing touchdowns, and he's one under his career high.
With 3 games left to be played.
It is a beautiful morning. It is a morning for everybody. Look, Christmas is about dreams. It's a beautiful morning for everybody to dream.
Damn right, man.
It is because it's not this team's making it a reality.
Right. And not to completely bring up last week, but it's kind of hard not to completely close the book, especially after how the passing offense question was answered yesterday. This is why I wasn't totally worried about the passing offense. Some of the numbers you just gave, the completion percentage and the average yards per reception.
I doubted that, by the way, would ever happen.
Because, look, the Panthers game was abysmal. Jalen Hurts had a horrible game, but that could have just been the blemish. Like, that could have just been the bad game. Now, obviously, he throws 32 times yesterday, which is more than 19, which is more than 21. But it's when he dropped back to pass, I was still celebrating how efficient is what it was. Now, the two of you got your answers or your hopes or your dreams to do it more throughout the course of a game and for it to be efficient over 30 pass attempts as opposed to 19. He answered that call yesterday.
He absolutely
did. So
did.
we all win. Like, we're all celebrating today.
Everybody got something they wanted yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely.
And more importantly, too, it shows you. Throw the damn ball to A.J. Brown.
Right.
And by the way, Devontae Smith, too.
And not shots downfield.
Right.
Slant routes. This is one of the things we keep on going. Why do you keep going away from it? It's there.
And by the way,
every single drive.
And Devontae Smith.
Yes.
Devontae Smith's going to get no shine today, but he's going to get shine from us because that was a freaking spectacular performance from a guy who just shuts his mouth, comes to work, and does everything he's asked to do. And by the way, I saw him lay down 2 or 3 blocks yesterday that sprung other people, including Grant Calcaterra and A.J. Brown. A selfless player, and I'm not taking a shot at A.J. Brown for that. He's just a different personality.
Right.
Just a different dude. But this team is freaking loaded, and as long as health is not an issue,
right.
This team is winning a Super Bowl.
And wow, geez, okay.
This team is winning
all right.
a Super Bowl.
Mark that down.
Yep.
6-12. We do 6-12.
This team, now the only thing again,
man, how's a week change everything?
Man, it is unbelievable.
How does 1 week change?
Well, wait a minute now. I didn't. I was in New Orleans. Already.
I know you were.
I was in the NFC title game all summer.
But now one game, now they're winning.
I was in New Orleans. I've been in New Orleans for 3 weeks. Now, I'm sitting at maybe like the Kimmel Center, somewhere like that, bundled up.
That sounds nice.
Maybe a flask. Just to warm up a little bit.
I got you taken care of.
I figured as much.
Don't you worry about that.
I figured as much.
All right, so we all got what we wanted, kind of, right? Like, I didn't need them to take shots downfield. Those Devontae Smith catches, they weren't down the sideline. They were mesh concepts. They found open space. Like this, the offense yesterday was perfect for this football team. Perfect. And so, obviously, people are going to say, oh, well, you guys worried about everything that happened last week, blah, blah, blah. The team did too. So I do want to play one clip for you. Here was Sal Powell. Now, you caught this yesterday. Great job, Johnny. I guess the Eagles-Steelers game was the ESPN game.
It was. Saw Steve Levy beforehand, and Sal was doing the color.
And so here was Sal Powell after the game because Steve Levy asked, hey, is everybody happy in Philadelphia now after a game like this? And take a listen to what Sal Paolantonio said during the ESPN broadcast yesterday about this Eagles team.
You heard Devontae Smith in the interview with Courtney Cronin after the game, and he said, we have awkward conversations. We're allowed to have awkward conversations on this team because of the culture of the coaching staff and these players, and that's what they did this week. I was there at NovaCare. There were some very difficult conversations that had to be had after what was said in the win after Carolina. They said them. Things got addressed. It was out in the open. They fixed the passing game, and they come out here and dominate a much better team in the Pittsburgh Steelers in the second half. So where is this team going? They stay in the division. They don't have to get on the plane. They've got Washington at Washington next week. Then the Cowboys come in, and then the Giants come in. So they could very easily close out the division with no problem.
So we didn't overreact.
No.
It was discussed.
And somebody's doing fake news, flying a plane over here.
I saw. We talked about
the stupidity. It was Nick Sirianni at a team meeting. Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown both acknowledged it.
Brandon Graham
apologized for it and then apologized to the team and spoke to the team. Could you please drop the media constantly creating stuff? No. They dealt with it because they know that they had to deal with it. And by the way, congratulations for dealing with it well.
They dealt with, and that's the thing. Like,
they dealt with it well.
I play that clip not to go, told you.
No, but they dealt with it well.
No, it's to also celebrate that, remember, this time last year was when it all fell apart. This
Correct.
time last year was when whispers inside the locker room about the offense, about Sean Desai, all this stuff started coming out about this time last year.
Yeah.
And it went to crap. Whereas what happened this past week, they did use it as a moment to try to band together. We asked the question last week, is part of you happy that it happened? And I think a lot of people said no, but a lot of people were saying, but I wonder if this could galvanize the team. And it did. And you saw one of the best performances by the Eagles.
Gosh.
And by the way, they've had a lot of great performances this year. But they had one of the best performances as a team yesterday against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Don't you think, though, the best performances have come in the past month? If you just turn it back a calendar month, if you just go Rams, Ravens, Steelers.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Rams, Ravens, Steelers, that's a trifecta of, by the way, the 4th seed in the NFC. Right now, division leaders in the NFC West now, the Rams.
Yeah.
Then you beat up the Steelers and the Ravens, two teams that are right now are the 3 seed and the 5 seed. That's a really good resume of critical time in the season wins. While teams are building up towards the playoffs, the Eagles are taking up and 13 yesterday. Whew.
And those wins that you mentioned, they did it in different ways. Obviously, the defense has been tremendous in all 3 of those games, but the Rams and Ravens games were run heavy. Yesterday was pass heavy. They were able to win both ways. So, Connor, are we feeling better today?
We're feeling great today. How could you not be feeling great about this football team? And I never understood, in all the arguments we had last week, the person who would say, well, they don't have to do it because they're so good at running the football, because they're capable of having that type of game. And Andrew DiCecco was 100% confident when he joined us on Friday. He said,
he was.
I believe the pass game is going to be great. I know they have the talent. And my only argument was, okay, I just want to see it. Guess what? I saw it.
And I said the same thing to him. I'm not taking your word for it. Show it to me.
Yeah, prove it. And
show it.
They went out there and proved it against a very good defense. This team just does everything well, man.
There was yesterday, though. It looked like, and you guys probably were able to see more replays of it and everything than I got to see from the press box. But it did look like, though, T.J. Watt was having a day.
Yeah.
He always does.
But I've never seen the Eagles' offensive line look like it was not always up to snuff yesterday.
That's a great
Is that fair?
pass rush.
Oh, no, it's a great
That's
pass.
a great pass rush.
Here's what I was saying.
They won't face one like that through the playoffs.
Unless we meet them in the Super Bowl, you're never going to face it again.
No, you're not.
Because that pass rush is special.
And you still went 25 of 32 passing the football yesterday.
Which is absolutely incredible.
Now,
Yeah,
here's
with
the
a
other
revolving door, too, at multiple offensive line positions.
Yeah, because guys were getting banged up throughout the game. We'll update you on all of that throughout the show today. So our question today, have all your concerns been addressed with the Philadelphia Eagles? As you mentioned, John, the only people left that are moving the goalposts are just the contrarians at
and
this
they're just
point.
going to be contrary people.
And that's a sad life to live,
Yes, it
especially
is.
when you had a game like yesterday and a 10-game winning streak, which is the best in franchise history.
Okay, that's wild.
Now, here's the other thing.
Yeah. There's more?
We haven't mentioned it
There's
yet.
more.
The Lions lost yesterday.
And what did I tell you about my mood at the Lions loss? I told you that today was just going to be stupid. Because it's stupid. There's 5 things that have to happen now.
The 1 seed is at play, ladies and gentlemen.
5 things need to happen. Eagles win 3 times. Lions and Vikings both lose a game. Now remember, the Lions and the Vikings play the last week of the year. So they're guaranteed that one of those things is going to happen.
Yeah.
But it has to be the right one, potentially. But I'm telling you right now, I feel really good this morning.
We could be sitting back the first round of the playoffs and not stressing.
How about 2
There's a chance.
There could be 2 home games to Bourbon Street. 2 home games to
That's a slogan that Scott
is.
Masteller should write down right now. I know he's listening.
Well, yeah. Wait. Let's get that number 1 seed first.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to plan ahead.
Oh no, we got that.
Come on, man, you already booked reservations in New Orleans.
By the way, dinner is booked for Wednesday and Thursday night.
Love that,
Mrs.
man.
B's is booked.
Love that. All right, so coming up next, you heard from the reporter side of the story, Sal Pal saying, hey, they had to have awkward conversations, and they did just that. How about you hear from the head coach and the quarterback? Hear from Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts coming up next about the big win for the Eagles against the Steelers. Sirianni talking about the passing game. Jalen Hurts talking about complimentary football. It's a beautiful day on Kincade and Salciunas. We'll be celebrating a dominant Eagles win and keeping our eyes on the 1 seed.
On the prize, baby.
It is Kincade and Salciunas on a Victory Monday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
A historic win for the Birds. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update is brought to you by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. Did you know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? Drive high, get a DUI. A message from the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. The Eagles made it 10 straight wins yesterday with a 27-13 win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. That marks the longest win streak in franchise history for the Eagles. Believe it or not, they did it by passing the ball. Yeah, passing. Jalen Hurts went for 290 yards and 2 passing touchdowns. He also had one on the ground, as he seemingly always does. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, both went over 100 yards receiving. Both had a touchdown in the game. So after a week of criticism or questioning of the passing game, well, Jalen Hurts had a simple lead into his post-game media availability.
So that's what y'all wanted to see, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what we wanted to see. And to make matters even better, with a loss by the Lions to the Bills yesterday, the Eagles are also tied for the best record in the NFC at 12-2. They'll play the Washington Commanders Sunday. They win that game, they'll be NFC East champions. In a little bit of less positive news, the Sixers had a nightmare weekend. Joel Embiid sustained a right sinus fracture against the Pacers on Friday. Rookie Jared McCain is out indefinitely after a lateral meniscus tear in the same game. Things have gone from pretty bad to worse for the Sixers. They'll play the Hornets tonight at 7. You can hear that game live right here on The Fanatic. Andrew DiCecco joins us at 8:10. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Can you feel it?
The Eagles are back to being Super Bowl contenders. 6:30 on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic on a Victory Football Monday. Man, does it feel good. It feels good talking about the game. Last week, it was more than just the game. There have been too many times this season where we have not been able to talk about the game that happened. We've talked about Nick Sirianni and his
Going after
outbursts.
fans.
Right. We talked about bad decisions by the head coach, which, by the way, we mentioned it last segment. Devontae Smith probably won't get much love today because of so much was made about A.J. Brown last week. Devontae had a great day. Nick Sirianni deserves credit for a lot of the things that are happening with the Eagles.
Absolutely does.
And how he handled this week is amazing compared to what happened last year. Look, he had blood on his hands last year. Sirianni did.
His fingerprints were on that crime scene.
And so this year, during the first sign of true adversity that wasn't about on the field of play, right? It was about drama and Brandon Graham talking out of turn and saying things that he wasn't supposed to say publicly. Nick Sirianni handled this very well. For the people that keep on trying to make the point that this was created by the media or whatever narrative you want to spew, it's nonsense. Sirianni said last week, hey, I address things when I feel the need they need to be addressed. And then he said, we did address this.
Brandon Graham had a team meet, addressed the team in a team meeting. It's stop with the nonsense of blaming what happened last week on the meeting.
No, it was real.
It was self-inflicted by them.
And so, in the same breath, kudos to the Eagles.
Them. Exactly.
Like, they handled it. Nick Sirianni handled this well. Jalen Hurts handled this well. The core values they were showing. They did their core workouts with their core values this week. It was great. So it's nice to be able to talk about the game. So let's do that. Yesterday after the game, Nick Sirianni speaking to the media. He was asked, of course, about the passing offense. Here he was talking about it.
Look how efficient we've been passing the ball for the last 9 weeks, right, through this little stretch that we've been in. I just think it kind of gets a little bit blown out of proportion. Jalen's quarterback rating's been over 100 most of the games. I don't know what he was today, but most of the games he's been over 100. We're averaging 8+ in the pass game. Like, I just think a little bit's been blown out of proportion. We've been running the ball so well. I mean, you can't have all the yards rushing. There's only so many yards you're going to get in a game. You can't have all the yards rushing or have all the yards in the passing game too. And so I think we've been super efficient. Today we needed our passing game even more. You guys look at yards a lot. Like, it was just another good day of passing game because I think we've been super efficient. Like, I don't think you understand how hard it is to be, have that yards per attempt number, that quarterback rating, and take care of the ball and be explosive, which we've been. I mean, today was really good. We threw for more yards, so I know that's going to be the passing game's back. I don't think the passing game was anywhere.
He was a little chesty about that. And the thing is, again, you can talk it, Nick, all you want. And yes, he's right. Statistically, it was absolutely, he is correct when he says, a little blown out of proportion.
Which is the point I was making last week, that they were efficient except for that Panthers game.
Until you show that you can do it against quality opponents that are going to potentially be standing in your way. That's why I needed to see it Sunday. I didn't need to see it against the Commodes. I didn't need to see it against the Cowboys or the Giants. I needed to see it against a team like the Steelers. They went out. They showed it. They said, is that good enough for you? Yes, it was.
And that was one of the points.
That was awesome.
You were saying that all week long, that you wanted to see them do it against the Steelers.
I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to wait and say, oh, wow, look, they tore it up in the passing game against the Giants.
Yesterday during the pregame show, Bill said, they need to start throwing the ball more. And then he said, but maybe this week isn't the week to do it.
No, it was the
Whereas
week to
I
do
said,
it.
no, if you're going to do it, you have to do it this week.
Correct.
Because these are the teams that you're going to face in the playoffs. Because if you don't do it this week, what's the point of, let's not attempt it against the Steelers defense. It's not like you're playing the Giants and the Cowboys in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But, either way, if we had seen it at any point the rest of the way, we would have felt better. The fact that they did it against the Steelers, we feel as good as we possibly can about this passing attack.
Oh, yeah, you got to feel even better.
It's funny, too. This Nick Sirianni clip that we just played, it's a mini version of his everyone overreacted when we were 2-2.
Right.
We knew the whole time we had this. And guess what? If he keeps being proven right every time he says we knew we had it the whole time, we're going to have to start believing him.
Well,
you roll your eyes. We're going to have to start believing him.
It's easy to say it after it happens.
Sure.
Like, it's easy to say it after
hindsight
it
is
happens.
just amazing.
Yeah. Like, of course, he's saying that we always had this after the game where they played very well passing the football.
And I will say it, but something that Andrew said made me smile the most so far in the beginning of the show today.
Wow, 35 minutes in.
Is that the fact that we're not going to face a team? We know there is no team that stands between us and a Lombardi trophy that plays defense like the Steelers.
No.
Because the Lions, to their credit, the Lions' defense was playing really well.
They were. And then you can only handle those injuries as long as you can.
They're so beaten up. They're so terrorized. And that doesn't mean that they still can't get to a Super Bowl.
They lost 2 more players yesterday.
It's amazing. They've been ravaged by injury.
Their last 3 weeks, 20 points against the Bears, which isn't much, but remember, the Bears almost scored
at the end.
If it wasn't
at the end.
For Eberflus and that nonsense. 31 against the Packers on that Thursday night, 48 yesterday against the Bills. That defense can only be held together by Flex Seal for so long.
Right.
All right.
I want some of that stuff.
I do too. I want to see if it
hope
actually
Santa
works.
brings me some.
You got to make a boat with a screen door?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see if Flex Seal works.
I'd be willing to go into like a lake.
Yeah, just to see it. Yeah, you're not going deep body water.
I'm not going deep body. Yeah, I'm not going off the, taking it down to Avalon.
Might be good for you.
Exactly.
So that you heard Nick
good
Sirianni. Here's Jalen Hurts, your starting quarterback, talking about how the offense looked yesterday.
We've been able to do that a couple times this year, and it was crucial. Hats off to, how Saquon has kind of been able to do that all year in those moments. And Kenny stepping up and making some of the plays he made tonight. Not foreign to that at all. And just putting it all together, defense played a hell of a game, how they started the game off. Would love to, kind of get out and take advantage of how they're playing, in that moment. Tons to learn from. In the end, we'll kind of get back to our regular schedule routine, put a 24-hour rule on what we do and learn from it tomorrow and move forward.
I love it.
Can I ask, as being someone who is clearly not cool, was that a luggage tag around his neck? Like the big diamond studded.
Oh, dude, it's just drip.
What? Yeah, I understand.
Ice.
Yeah, but was it a luggage tag or a cell phone?
I don't think it has to matter.
I'm just wondering what it was because it's fascinating. Like, do you go into the store and go,
give me the biggest thing you have?
Give me the luggage tag.
Yeah, it was probably a metal plate with the studs and the diamonds on it.
When you sign that $250 million contract, you walk in and you go, what's the most expensive thing you have?
Now, the weird
Give it to me.
thing is I was incorrect there because I would have said to you that Jalen Hurts did not have anything like that in his wardrobe.
Oh, man, he just wanted to show it off. Yes.
Well,
he knew what the game plan was.
What do? You go in, you go like, I want the dog tag. I want the luggage tag. It looks like a luggage tag. You got to look it for yourself. Go look at the picture.
I think he's so methodical. If they lose yesterday, if he doesn't throw the football,
he'd never wear it again?
He doesn't wear it, period.
That
but
could be.
The fact that they played the way that he did, he goes, you know what? I'm going to be a little bit more gangster at the podium today. I'm going to wear my ice.
That was awesome.
All right, so the other thing that we haven't talked about yet, and part of that question and answer there was about obviously handling passing and running duties. 10 minutes and 29 seconds.
My favorite part of the entire game, we finally get to.
10 minutes and 29 seconds.
That is the thing that makes me the most giddy this morning about what this team is doing. That was incredible. They choked the life out of a team that has a legit chance to go to the Super Bowl out of the AFC. Yeah. And they literally choked the life out of them. They would just said they gave them 11 plays in the second half. I don't know that I've ever seen that in a football game. And I would challenge anybody to remind me, like, of when was the last time in an Eagles game the opposition ran 11 plays, 2 possessions in the second half.
That's unbelievable. Your Eagles drives in the second half, 16-play, 52-yard drive that led to a field goal. They knocked off 7 minutes and 8 seconds of clock. Their second drive in the second half, this one was in the fourth quarter, 14 plays, 74 yards, 6 minutes and 33 seconds they knocked off. They scored a touchdown. The end of the game, where they don't even get points out of it.
On purpose, they did.
I know. 23 plays, 99 yards, 10 minutes, and 28 9 seconds of clock.
That to me,
I've never seen anything like it.
that to me is my favorite thing ever that they've done this year against a quality opponent to say, oh, we're going to let you have 11 snaps in the second half. That was wild. I don't even know that that's possibly sustainable. It's so awesome.
It's unbelievable.
It's an unbelievable number, and congratulations to every single player that was a part of it and the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Who did a great job.
And you mentioned Devontae Smith blocking. Like that's everybody. Like that has to be everybody. Offensive line, they're just getting beat up over that course of the drive.
Sure.
And then obviously the running backs who are taking off the clock. Jalen throwing quick short passes to keep them in bounds, keep the clock running.
Kenny Gainwell.
Yeah.
I mean, it was absolutely, that was almost stunning yesterday. Almost. Just where you just said, I can't believe what I'm watching. And that's fantastic.
So I found an article from SteelersNow.com.
Okay.
Funny, this was not about yesterday's game. This was just about a game 2 years ago. They did the research. The longest drive in terms of time of possession in NFL history was from the Tennessee Oilers.
The Tennessee Oilers.
25 plays, 13 minutes, and 21 seconds. That happened in 1997 with Eddie George and Steve McNair.
I think it's funny that they didn't even have any points.
Yeah,
that was even better.
They got a 19-yard field goal out of that one.
Exactly.
The Eagles just ran off all 10 minutes and 29 seconds that remained on the clock.
Yeah, we don't even need points.
Unbelievable. So, coming up next, we will hear from you. The calls and the texts at 610-632-0975. Have all of your concerns been addressed? Answer that question for us. And if you have no concerns or had no concerns, just talk glowingly of the Eagles. However, one bone to pick. One bone to pick with two members of the Philadelphia Eagles.
You like picking bones, eh?
It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Can you feel it?
The Eagles are back to being Super Bowl contenders.
Teams.
Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. We'll check the text lines and the calls momentarily. Again,
it's lively from what we've been told.
Oh, yeah, man.
Great.
Look, I mean, everybody's fired up. It's an easy day to wake up. Despite the rain and ugly weather, it's still easy to wake up after a game like that. By the way, it's a football Monday, a victory football Monday on The Fanatic, presented to you by Pierce Phelps, Bryant Heating and Air Conditioning Contractors. Visit nopayBryant.com. The Eagles set a franchise record yesterday with their 10th straight win. But I do have a bone, quick bone. All right, this is like when you get the.
I've heard that.
When you get the.
Go on. Let it go. Let it go.
Come on, man.
There you go.
Come on, man. A little bone.
Let it
all
go.
Smallest bone you can think of.
There you go.
All right. AJ and Jalen, I love you both. I didn't stop believing in you.
Don't stop.
Love you both. All right. Stop with the nonsense. We'll start with Jalen Hurts when he first sat down at the podium yesterday. Take a listen.
So that's what y'all want to see, huh?
Yes.
Yes, that's the answer. Yes.
Yes.
That's what we all wanted to see because every good team that wins Super Bowls, that's what they do.
Now.
Yes. We wanted to see that.
Now, here's the more egregious one.
Is that supposed to be him spiking the football?
Yes.
That's what I don't get.
And here's A.J. Brown when he first was asked about the celebration because Jalen and A.J. score. When A.J. scores a touchdown, they do the dance.
Sure.
Take a listen to the answer to the question.
That was our moment to tell everybody, shut up.
Dude. You created this.
Whoa. How do you have an issue with that?
Because it wasn't us.
It was nobody.
It was them.
It was them.
It was AJ
from the very beginning.
And then it was and then it was Brandon
PG,
Graham.
Yeah.
It wasn't us.
Nobody did this.
This was them.
That's why I have a
so
problem
we have an issue with it.
Listen, Jalen is talking about the passing offense, and there were questions about the passing offense outside of the A.J. Brown comments. We had talked about that before, about them needing to throw the ball a little bit more efficiently. And AJ is probably like, dude, I don't like my stuff being out there. And there were some people who were concerned about it.
Well, hold on
it's
a
not
second.
specifically to
if
us
the
in this
AJ
room.
thing never happened, Jalen's never starting his press conference like
I
that.
understand.
Right? And so it was created by the team. Again, very small bone. It's just I'm tired of the whole us against the world thing.
Stop it.
When it's happening within your own locker room.
You guys did this. Nobody did it for you. Nobody did this. No media member created this.
Okay.
You created it.
You're trying to side with guys that created it.
So don't
Connor.
spike the football and act like, yeah, see, we told you.
No, I am telling you two and everybody else to swallow your damn pride and enjoy the fact that pushed them to have an amazing football game.
Here's one thing I would tell you with Andrew's quick bone is that I do believe, Connor, we never see that game plan if last week did.
Yeah, that's not happening. Yeah.
That is the silver lining to it all, is that I think they went, oh, yeah, maybe we need to show them. We get it. You know what? If that was all about shutting people up, I'm sorry that it took that to get you to shut people up, that it took you to realize, wow, we could do that too. Makes no sense.
I love those both. I love them both.
Absolutely.
Jalen, AJ, love them both. Very happy you're the franchise quarterback. Very happy that you're going to be the greatest wide receiver in Eagles franchise history.
He'll be over 1,000 yards next week.
Just don't do the us against the world thing when it's created by your own teammate.
If you set the fire, you do not get credit for putting the fire out.
Dude, I don't care where the motivation comes from. Us against the world is a great mentality.
But don't blame somebody else for what you create.
Johnny, blame whoever the hell you want. If you're going to win 10 straight football games and dominate teams, you could blame Connor Thomas specifically. You could tell me I'm a moron. If they win the Super Bowl, I will wear that dunce cap at the parade.
Connor, I'm allowed to say I will hold people accountable for what they say. I'm not taking the blame for something you do. I'll say, hey, I gave him credit for a great effort yesterday. It was spectacular. And I've been thrilled with this last month. But the thing is, own what you do. Just own what you do. Don't spike the football like you were somehow a victim here.
Yeah, dude, I'll take whatever blame
I know. You just want to see them winning.
For this team.
We all want them to win.
I get it. We all want to see them win.
We all want the same thing.
I just gotta be like, yo, dude, like, come on, man. All right, let's go to the phone. Let's go to our man Mike in Yardley. What's up, Coach Mike?
What's up? Happy Victory Monday. How you guys feeling?
Hi, Mike. Feeling great, buddy.
Man, I am so happy. And like Connor said, I don't care what motivation. Michael Jordan would make up stories to get extra motivated to try to go off during games.
He'd make up fevers, too.
Exactly. One thing that was absolutely clear is that they did change up the game plan. to address the outside noise. And we see it from this coaching staff. And, usually I'd be upset about it, but I'm not upset if they keep responding in positive ways. And one thing that I want to point out, the defense, the offensive line, what you see whenever anyone goes down is you see the next person step up and play just as well, or at least nothing goes awry. And that's a credit to the coaching staff, not just Sirianni, but the position coaches, the coordinators. I just want to shout them out and say what a great job that this coaching staff is doing, that we look prepared every single week. So happy Victory Monday. I'll talk to you guys
Mike,
later.
You're the man, Mike. We
there you
appreciate
go.
it.
Good job,
Birds.
buddy. Have a great one.
Yeah, I mean, it's very reminiscent of the 2017 thing. Now, fortunately for the Eagles' sake, it hasn't been like season-ending injuries, right? It's been guys that are banged up, might miss a week or might miss a couple of series inside the game.
Honestly, what Detroit's doing sort of reminds me of 2017 Eagles.
Right, where they keep on finding ways to win. But at some point, I mean, they have a list.
They have an incredible
That list is longer than what the Eagles dealt with in 2017.
The thing is, though, the Eagles dealt with a starting middle linebacker, starting left tackle, starting quarterback. I mean, it was strategic. It was really hard what they dealt with.
Absolutely hard.
But Mike said only one thing that was incorrect, dealing with the outside noise. No. They were dealing with inside noise.
The noise became loud on the outside.
Because they made it loud.
Yes. All right, we got that out of the way. It's just I just laugh sometimes. But as Connor says, whatever motivates you, whatever floats your boat, the old saying, hey, go for it. All right, coming up next, we continue talking about the Eagles' victory yesterday. We reset the show. But there is one dream that probably died yesterday, but I think we should all be happy for it. It is Kincade and Salciunas on a Victory Monday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Improving the passing game. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update's brought to you by Groundworks, your expert for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. The Eagles had a tall task in Week 15, not just their matchup with the Steelers, but to prove the passing game amidst criticism following the win over the Panthers last week. And all they did is go out and make it 10 straight wins, a franchise record with a 27-13 win over the Steelers. And they did it with that passing game. Jalen Hurts, 290 yards through the air, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 each to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, who were both over 100 yards for the game. And Jalen Hurts had a very simple open to his post-game media availability.
So that's what y'all want to see, huh?
Pretty much, Jalen, pretty much. And what we also want to see is the Eagles potentially have a look at the 1 seed, which they now do following the Detroit Lions loss to the Bills yesterday. The Eagles at 12-2, tied with Detroit for the best record in the NFC. They'll play Washington this Sunday with a chance to win the division if they can take down the Commanders. In a little bit of less positive news, the Sixers, they had a nightmare weekend. Joel Embiid sustained a right sinus fracture against the Pacers. The rookie Jared McCain, who's been outstanding for them, out indefinitely now after a lateral meniscus tear. They'll play the Hornets tonight at 7 p.m. as they look to try and keep this season afloat. Andrew DiCecco will join us coming up at 8:10. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philadelphia 76ers.
morning where the
so
Eagles
psyched.
set a franchise record for 10 straight wins. And they are now tied record-wise with the Detroit Lions for the 1 seed in the NFC.
Well, they're really not.
Record-wise, as I said.
Record, yeah, but
Record-wise,
they
they're both
need a
12-2.
lot to get done.
I know, but
that's fine.
record-wise, they
Five
are
things
tied.
have to happen.
Yes.
We can have those 5 things.
They absolutely could have those 5 things. The Lions have a shaky schedule to end out the season, as do the Vikings. They play
and they
each
play
other.
the last week, so one of them is going to take a loss.
Right.
So you need the Lions to lose one, you need the Vikings to lose one. But the thing is, that last game, it might not be the team you need to lose. So the Eagles getting all 3 of their wins. I'm going to tell you this: they win Sunday in Washington. There's no doubt in my mind that the Eagles will take care of their part of this equation.
Yeah, and the beauty of it, they play at home yesterday. They played at home the week before. Quick bus ride or train, however they get to the Commanders. I know it's a bus
I think
ride.
it'll be a train.
Is it a train?
No, I think they like the train.
I thought they usually took the big giant buses.
No, I don't know, but I thought they liked the train.
Regardless, bus or train to D.C., Landover, Maryland, home against the Cowboys, home against the Giants. No more flying. And then if you're the 1 seed,
oh, that's awesome.
you're not flying till New Orleans.
And we will be flying to New Orleans.
Yes.
So, by the way, again, I'm just suggesting if you're an Eagles fan this morning, open table, grab your reservation. I'm telling you, I've been to 3 Super Bowls in New Orleans. It is the best eating out town. One of the best eating out towns in America. And if you think you're going to be there Super Bowl week, GW Fins, thank me later. Mrs. B's for a little Creole. I've already told Andrew.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
That's what you got to be doing this morning. Get on open table. Make a reservation. You can cancel it.
This is a beautiful to have these sites. Beautiful to have this kind of fun. Again, an incredible win for the Eagles yesterday, 27-13. The passing offense, all the questions, all the concerns were answered yesterday. Jalen Hurts, 25 of 32, 290 yards and 2 touchdowns. The question for you today at 610-632-0975. Have all of your concerns been addressed? Connor, what do we have on the text line? We're going to replay the Sal Pal audio. ESPN, the Eagles-Steelers game was the ESPN radio broadcast, and Sal Pal did address everything that happened last week.
He was the color analyst on the game too,
which is amazing.
I didn't know he did color.
Sal Pal does it all. But what do we have? What are the people saying this morning there, Connor?
All right, so we're going to start with the only person that's checked in with a concern. Now, I do think it's a somewhat valid one.
Okay.
And this texter says, it was a great game. My only concern was the amount of injuries. Now, I know it's football. That's going to happen, but some key guys got banged up a little bit. Hopefully nothing too serious, and hopefully injuries don't play a factor as you get closer to the postseason.
I mean, look, so I sometimes just don't mention injuries because I feel like it goes without saying. Like, I get it.
That's going to be a huge problem.
You're right, texter. Like, they got banged up yesterday. But until, like, it's a season ender for a monster player. Like, I don't really mention it.
I can speak from a position of somewhat informed opinion.
Yeah.
That the leaving the building last night, the greatest concern was for Landon Dickerson.
Okay.
And that there was little concern for anything else, and I'm quoting directly from somebody that I think knows what they're talking about.
Okay.
Little concern about anything else, like anything being long-term more than being just more dinged up. But Landon Dickerson being the one where the most concern was. But the good news on Landon Dickerson was out on the sideline after his injury.
Right.
And was standing on the sideline and walking along the sideline. Andrew DiCecco and I sitting there watching the game, he was moving all over the sideline. So I would believe that if there was something really, really bad, he wouldn't have been allowed to walk around the sideline, stand on the sideline, be a part, come in. He was moving all over the sideline.
That's why I was never really totally freaked out about Saquon, because Saquon never left.
Saquon never left, and Saquon was when he was off the field, he was doing the high knee kicks.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, were incredibly motivating. I said, look, the guy's like literally his knees could kick him in the eyes.
It's impressive.
It was unbelievable, but he was doing that in the high speed kicks, and so Saquon, even when he was off the field, was moving it seemed like the entire time.
Right. All right, what else we got on the text line?
This is a great point here from Lou in Langhorne. So he said, watching the defensive guys respond when Slay got pushed into the wall tells me everything I need to know about how different this team is from the one that allowed the Niners to walk through the pregame drills last year.
I'm going to mention a moment last year that told me the team was dead. And it wasn't just the Niners walking through.
What was that?
It was, I forget if it was the first or second Giants game. I believe it was the first Giants game.
Christmas. I already know the moment.
When they jumped the line of scrimmage.
Christmas.
Head-to-head, helmet-to-helmet contact on Jalen Hurts. And not one player.
Nobody defended Jalen.
Nobody. Like, it was just like.
No offensive lineman made a move. Nobody made a move.
Not even like a little shove where you do the whole, hey, man, back off.
That was Christmas night.
They did nothing.
No, they did nothing.
And that told me almost everything I needed to know. Like, all right, this team has issues if nobody's going to protect the quarterback.
There was a disconnect.
And now yesterday, to the texter's point, great point. Was that Mike you said the texter's name?
Lou from Langley.
My
Lou.
bad. That's right. John made the weird noise.
What about Quinyon? The way Quinyon
dude, he
stepped
went in.
there. He went in there and he said, he was going to have his boys back. I love it.
He went in swinging, too. It's a kind of amazing.
By the way, that's not smart.
Yeah, kind of amazing that nobody on the Eagles got called, but that's all right.
That should have been the Eagles not getting a call there was ridiculous.
That's all right.
I mean,
I'm not complaining.
Like, because you can't. A punch always gets a.
I know, dude. It was the fact that it was two personal fouls, both on the Steelers, was amazing. I thought it was gonna be offsetting, but okay. All right, give us another text, then we'll replay the Sal Pal audio, and then talk about a dream that may have died yesterday.
All right, Bobby from Chalfont wants to check in on those A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts comments after the game, and he says, stop
I knew
it.
somebody was going to get upset.
He says, stop it, guys. You know the Birds. They have to be hungry dogs to stay motivated, even though we know this was self-generated drama. You knew those comments by A.J. and Jalen were coming after the game.
I knew they were coming.
Okay, so he realizes that's
He realizes
good.
it.
Because there are people, like the banner that was flying over Lincoln Financial Field yesterday was just stupid.
It was stupid.
Like, that was dumb. But I'm glad that he's saying in the text, just like what you were saying, Connor, hey, whatever it takes, keep on going with it. Sometimes I just go, come on, let's be real here.
There is something that I'll give a lot of credit to, too, is talking to a few broadcasters that were working. Brandon Graham was working it with the broadcasters before game down in the field.
Did
and
you see
everything
him
like
with
that.
Brady?
Yes.
That was awesome.
And totally took ownership of his part in the mess of the week. And to me, it just shows you what kind of a guy Brandon Graham is that, look, we all have had crappy moments in life.
Oh, my God, yeah.
When we've said something we shouldn't have said or approached something we shouldn't have done, as Jalen said, spoke out of turn. And to own it like he has, that's leadership out of Brandon Graham there. That's leadership.
Yesterday, I made meatballs over the weekend.
Ooh.
And we had 2 left, and my wife said, hey, I'm going to bring those to work tomorrow. I said, okay. Literally 30 minutes later, I opened the fridge, and I said, oh, man, meatballs.
No, you didn't.
Sorry,
You're an idiot.
You're a jerk.
I felt so bad. I almost spit it out and put it back in the bowl.
Wait a minute. You really did? You ate her meatballs?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I apologize.
You're like a horrible husband.
She literally looked at me saying, what are you doing? I was like, oh, my God. I almost spit it out and made it a ball again.
You're lucky it's birthday week. You know what you should do? You know what you should do?
What should I do?
Bring her lunch.
No.
Yes, you could.
No. I'll Venmo her.
No, you could.
From our joint bank
There's
account.
nothing romantic about that. Bring her lunch to make up for it.
I'm not romantic, Johnny.
That's
all right,
terrible.
Yesterday, the ESPN radio game of the week was the Eagles-Steelers game. And after the game, Steve Levy and Sal Powell were doing their sign-off.
Postmortem.
And it plays, on the overnight every single week. And Sal Powell was asked by Steve Levy, all right, is everybody happy in Philadelphia now? Take a listen to what Sal Powell had to say about the conversations that took place in-house with the members of the Eagles.
You heard Devontae Smith in the interview with Courtney Cronin after the game, and he said, we have awkward conversations. We're allowed to have awkward conversations on this team because of the culture of the coaching staff and these players. And that's what they did this week. I was there at NovaCare. There were some very difficult conversations that had to be had after what was said in the win after Carolina. They said them. Things got addressed. It was out in the open. They fixed the passing game, and they come out here and dominate a much better team in the Pittsburgh Steelers in the second half. So where is this team going? They stay in the division. They don't have to get on the plane. They've got Washington at Washington next week. Then the Cowboys come in, and then the Giants come in. So they could very easily close out the division with no problem.
Love that.
Yeah, well, the division's over.
Yeah.
The 2 seed is over.
Yeah.
It's been over. Now it's just a matter of This thing, the dream is alive.
We were called ridiculous for saying that the 2 seed was over.
That was weeks ago.
We were called
the
ridiculous.
The dream is so alive for the 1 seed, though. It's beautiful.
It absolutely is. And you heard Sao Paulo there. Look, they had to figure some stuff out.
Yes.
And
they
to
did.
their credit,
They had awkward
did,
conversations in the building.
and they might be better for it, which is why we asked the question last week. Is part of you happy that this happened? And obviously nobody was totally thrilled, but we were all kind of thinking maybe this could better the team, and we had to find out yesterday whether or not it would better the team, and it did.
It did.
And now, you mentioned the Darius Slay moment,
I think
where
that
everybody bands together.
I love that you brought that up because it was a huge moment. It really was a huge moment of just saying, we're together, guys. We are together.
And they have been what I
got
thought
your
was
back.
all season until last week. That's why I was so surprised by everything that happened last week. I think we all were like, wait, what was just said? What did Brandon Graham just say? What did A.J. Brown just say after the game? Not that we disagreed with what A.J. Brown said, but that's why I was so surprised because earlier in the week, we were talking about how great the vibes were with the team.
And last Monday night, when that text thread started with all of us, I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
What happened here?
Is this December again? Are we going through a December to forget? And boy, is everything changed, and it was beautiful.
Absolutely. All right, before we get back to our text, so the Saquon Barkley, Eric Dickerson dream, I believe, died yesterday.
Yeah. 36 yards, by the way, going into Sunday's game. He'll need 36 total yards, so rushing and pass receiving, to surpass a 2,000-yard season.
Which is so amazing.
Spectacular.
Yeah.
Well, that's the next thing to check off the list. Then we're all into rushing numbers. He needs 196 rushing to finish in the top 10. He would move into 10th place, all-time rushing, single-season rushing list. He can do that in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks of games, 196. He needs 312 yards rushing for a 2,000 rushing yard season.
That's kind of tough, too.
Well, it depends. There's a really good chance now that every game's going to matter.
Yeah, it could. Yeah.
And you're going to have to play that last week hoping for either to clinch the bye week by winning yourself or hoping that you still can clinch the bye week. So I think 312 is very, very doable. But Eric Dickerson's number's pretty much gone.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't hate it.
It's 418 with 3 weeks to go. I believe that's off the board.
And I don't hate that because as disappointing as it might be, because we would love to see history. We've seen plenty of history of Saquon this year already. If 18 didn't matter, week 18, let's just say the Bills or the Lions just win out. It doesn't matter. If it didn't matter, I wouldn't want them to be like, oh, man, he's only 110 yards away.
You can, and by the way, to me, and it was weird because I had a little conversation with somebody close to the Eagles yesterday about a tweet that I made because I've been updating the Saquon numbers every weekend.
Right.
And this person said to me, seriously, you would consider it not legitimate if he beats it in 17 games? And I said, I don't consider it the same record.
I would put an asterisk next to it. Yeah.
I said, if somebody
had a whole extra game,
if somebody gets a whole extra game to do it, and they're like, but what about the number of carries? Shouldn't that matter? I said, no, I think it's the number of games. I think it's the number of games that does matter. And more importantly, he's already going to have a historic season one way or another.
Right. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, the MVP race is gone.
I think it's done.
Yeah,
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
By the way, does anybody is anybody really arguing it right now?
No. It's over.
I was talking to somebody last week that was like, come on, man. It's going to be Saquon. I'm like, dude, first off, it's a quarterback award. It's not. And then you see last night, like there's no longer a question.
Now, if Josh Allen went out in the next 3 weeks, pooped himself, that's different.
Maybe.
And I don't believe that he's going to. No, if he goes out and the Bills nosedive and lose 2 of 3 and he plays poorly, absolutely he could lose this.
Right.
But I don't believe that's happening. He is on a 3-game tear. Like I believe the NFL has almost never seen. He is playing at a whole different level. But as I said to you earlier, the Bills have given up 86 points the last 2 weeks. The Eagles have given up 86 points the last 5 weeks. The Eagles are an excellent team with balance. The Bills are not.
Yeah, they finish Patriots, Jets, Patriots. So there's no way that Josh Allen doesn't win it.
There's no way he doesn't win it. He's done.
He'll be just fine.
By the way, that 1 seed for them is very much in play.
Yeah.
Very much in play. If Patrick Mahomes is injured, it's in play. They'd have to lose twice, though.
We'll go around the NFL around 8:30. Big moment in the AFC yesterday with Patrick Mahomes limping off the field. He's labeled as week to week. But, as we talked about during the pregame show yesterday, we saw him basically act like his leg broke at halftime of
the Super Bowl, yeah.
And then he was just fine.
He's a little dramatic.
So we'll see.
Joel Embiid thinks he's a little dramatic.
So we'll see what actually is the deal with Patrick Mahomes. But his backup quarterback is none other than Carson Wentz.
Which, by the way,
I will be locked in on Saturday.
Everyone's going to be, right?
I will be locked in on Saturday to see how that looks.
What did Andy Reid unlock?
Well, yeah.
I mean, seriously, what is he able to do? Yep.
He did it with Foles, man.
I got a feeling that Carson may show something.
We'll see. All right, what do we have on the text line, Connor? You can text the show or call the show at 610-632-0975. Have all of your concerns been addressed? If you don't have any concerns or had no concerns, and obviously if the passing game was your only concern.
It's a beautiful life then.
If you just want to talk glowingly of the Eagles today, feel free because they've won 10 straight games.
So Mo checks in and says, quick throws without holding onto the ball while allowing the receivers to make plays is what is going to be the difference in this team winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, look, yesterday's game, as much as we're going to talk about how great Jalen was, and he was, these weren't shots downfield.
No, they weren't asking him to thread needles.
No, when we were talking about efficiency, being efficient when throwing it, whether it's 20 attempts or 32 attempts, those 12, that 12 that you guys wanted to see more of, right? Those 12 attempts, it's not like you guys wanted to see 12 shots downfield.
No.
You wanted to see Devontae Smith mesh concepts, A.J. Brown slant routes, curl routes, and they did that. Like, you don't have to drop back 32 times and attempt 20-yard passes every single time. And that's what they did earlier in the year.
I listened to Andrew, the football guy, on earlier in the day.
Thank you.
No, not you, Andrew DiCecco. He'll join us, too, in the DiCecco-in later on. And he was talking about the fact with Bill Colarulo on my drive to the stadium about how part of what you get the ball to A.J. Brown on those slants, he's so deadly with it because of his body positioning and the strength that he's able to do. It's almost automatic. And then what I watched yesterday was Devontae Smith. The same way. The same plays. You can run the exact same play, and the Slim Reaper's doing the same thing. What did he have yesterday? 11 catches?
He had 11 catches, 101 yards.
You see what Connor and I were trying to say last week, though, about just that you've got there's no reason to be throwing it to anybody else. Grant Calcaterra, by the way, is earning every bit of his money, and it's a beautiful thing. But there's no reason to be worried about anybody else getting their looks. I've seen enough. Johnny, I've seen enough. You ain't getting any more looks.
By the way, the yards per attempt yesterday for Jalen yesterday was just 9 yards in terms of in the air.
That's incredible.
Obviously, catch and run is different, but yards per attempt was just 9 yards. So
you know, built a career on that? Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Who people used to say was the greatest quarterback ever. That is how Joe Montana built a Hall of Fame career.
By the way, his week-by-week yards per attempt, just 8.2 against the Packers, 6.1 against the Falcons, 8.2 against the Saints, 5.3 against Tampa, but that's when all the receivers were out, 10.6 against the Browns, 8.1 against the Giants, 11, 9, 10, 7, 8, 6, 5, 9.
I'm fine with it. Love it.
It doesn't have to be shots downfield. Game manager, right? If a guy's open, throw it to him. That was the biggest problem for me against the Panthers. It wasn't the lack of targets for certain players. It was the fact that players were open. He wasn't throwing it. Yesterday, he handled everything perfectly. And that's what we expect out of him.
There's no reason not to wake up today thrilled.
Like, nobody on the show has said Jalen Hurts can't do it, or he has a noodle arm, or...
By the way, though, I said yesterday, if you had opened up the press box windows, I could have heard those passes from Russell Wilson quacking. Because I tell you, he is Mr. Noodle now.
That flea flicker, I get it was a perfect spot for...
Are you kidding me? The ball must hit the ground.
Well, only Calvin Austin could get to it. Nobody else could get to it.
But come on.
But that ball hung up in the air forever.
Oh, my gosh. Quack, quack, quack.
Yeah, dude, that offense is not scary
and
at
by the
all.
way,
they have no shot of winning a Super Bowl.
Vaughn was in really good coverage.
He was. It was an amazing play.
Amazing play.
All right, so coming up next, we've talked a lot about the offense today. Obviously, deservedly so. But we can't ignore the defense. the defense, once again, just freaking incredible. We will talk about the defense coming your way next and celebrate another great performance by them. It's Kincade and Salciunas on a Victory Monday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
The Eagles showing us what we wanted to see. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update's brought to you by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Veterans exposed to toxins while serving at home or abroad may be eligible for VA care and disability payments. Apply now at choose.va.gov. The Eagles showed us what we were asking for all week yesterday, taking down the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-13. The victory made it 10 straight for the Birds. That marks the longest win streak in franchise history. So, a historic win for the Philadelphia Eagles. And believe it or not, they did it by passing the ball, which is what the conversation had been all week leading up to this game. Jalen Hurts went for 290 yards through the air, 2 passing touchdowns, no interceptions. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith both over 100 yards, a touchdown each through the air. And Jalen Hurts asked the question to open up his media availability.
So that's what y'all want to see, huh?
Pretty much what we wanted to see there, Jalen. And seeing the Eagles close for the 1 seed once again, that's another thing that is good for us to wake up to today in Philadelphia. With the loss by the Lions to the Buffalo Bills yesterday, the Eagles are tied for the best record in the NFC. The Birds will play Washington with a chance to win the NFC East on Sunday. In less positive news, the Sixers had a tough weekend. Joel Embiid sustained a right sinus fracture against the Pacers. Rookie Jared McCain out indefinitely after sustaining a lateral meniscus tear in the same game. The Sixers back on the court tonight playing the Hornets at 7 p.m. down in Charlotte. You can hear that game here on The Fanatic. We'll talk to Andrew DiCecco at 8:10. I'm Connor Thomas from 97.5 The Fanatic.
Can you feel it?
The Eagles are back to being Super Bowl contenders.
This team's got a
7:31 on Kincade Salciunas on this Victory Monday morning, man. 10
Just be
straight
careful
wins.
out there. But it feels great, doesn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely feels great. And it feels great to not only talk about how it looks like the offense got things figured out yesterday, but let's take some time because we haven't much, obviously because of the storylines that we have to follow. Let's talk about the defense yesterday.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, I know the Steelers' offense isn't prolific, and they were without their top wide receiver in George Pickens. But you still have to stop a team, and they did just that. Russell Wilson, 14 of 22 for 128 yards and a touchdown. He basically put together one decent drive. They only score one touchdown over the course of the game. I didn't think they'd score two touchdowns. I had the Steelers scoring like 16 points, a touchdown, a couple field goals, so I was just off of that. That team's got nothing offensively. Najee Harris only has all those yards because they just keep feeding him the ball. They couldn't even feed him the ball yesterday. 6 carries for 14 yards.
That was awesome. And the pitch.
Yeah, the pitch where he fumbles. Yeah, because he's looking.
That was a
he's
huge
looking
turn.
upfield.
That
Oh,
was a huge turning point.
because it was a one-score game.
Yes.
And they were driving downfield. That was one of their better drives, and they don't score on that play. In the first half, Russell Wilson.
Oh, quack, quack, quack.
It was horrible.
Quack, quack, quack.
Russell Wilson was 9 of 16 for 67 yards, and he had that touchdown pass in that drive in that first half.
Was that the flea flicker was in the second?
That was in the second half. And that was the majority of his yards in the
Passing
second half.
yards. I told Andrew yesterday, DiCecco, at our lunch date. I told him, I said, I bet the under on passing, all the under statistics on Russell Wilson. I said, let's just bet the under. I think his passing yards was 185 and a half.
Yeah.
And I said, that's the easiest bet of the day. He's not good.
They ran for 34 yards in the first half.
Oh,
and
my
Russell
gosh.
Wilson was the leading rusher. He had 13 yards on 3 carries. Fields had the 1 8-yard run where there was the late hit on Reed Blankenship, which I don't know how
I heard Brady defended Reed Blankenship.
Everybody did.
Oh, so they did.
Yeah, everybody did.
Not hearing the broadcast. I didn't get to hear the broadcast.
And Brady and Blandino even.
Okay.
And he usually
So
always
he did
sides
too?
with the refs. He
So he
was
did?
like
Okay.
that. I don't know how you police that when the guy's sliding as late as he is.
Yeah, that was bull. And the NFL, the hip drop tackle has not been called all year after talking about it all offseason.
And that was AJ on the sideline because
Yep.
I was a little blocked.
Yes.
Now I'll keep it 100, as I always do. I did not want them to try to ban a tackle where there's men that are 250 pounds, tight ends, guys like A.J. Brown. And what are you going to do if you're a 150-pound soaking wet corner?
Why would you not want that when you have A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley?
No, I understand that. And that's why
I'm being selfish.
Going back to when the rule happened, your first reaction, and I will give you a lot of credit for it, was, wow, this benefits the Eagles. My first reaction was, I don't like this for the league. I usually think league first before team first.
See, you are less of a selfish bastard. So, I mean, and that's a good thing. I think it'll come with age. You'll get to be a little more. I always think of everything from an Eagles standpoint first, and then from how it benefits the sport of the league.
Yeah.
I really do.
I think league first, and I thought it was ridiculous.
You're just a kind man. I'm not.
And as Connor's point, they have not called it once. There have been fines. There have been players that have been fined
after the fact.
afterward.
Right.
But in the game itself, there has not been one flag for this hip drop tackle that I'm sorry. Guys like Quinyon Mitchell, Darius Slay, they need to do that on bigger bodied receivers and tight ends.
By the way, you listen to the broadcast. There's been a lot of more home games, so I haven't seen as much. Do we even hear Quinyon Mitchell's name?
No, except for when he
tried
had
to punch somebody.
He
But
had
I mean, seriously,
he had the back of his old head and Darius Slay.
I heard Sal Pal say that yesterday. Do you even hear his name?
No. That's a good thing.
This is a rookie corner.
If you're a corner.
And it's just, he's freaking anonymous. They're like, nah, not worth it.
They pointed out one play. Milton Williams had a great deflection at the line of scrimmage. A couple of those yesterday by the Eagles defensive line, which I don't think we see all that often.
Not often enough.
But Milton Williams deflected it, and they showed the angle where Quinyon Mitchell was 100% jumping the route.
Right.
And probably would have intercepted the pass. That guy's had bad luck with intercepted chances at interceptions. Remember, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson has knocked 2 out of his hands this year.
I thought of something yesterday that is one of the most beautiful storylines of December also. And I was jotting it down during the game. we're not talking about Jalen Carter, and we'll get into his situation coming up.
Yeah, we will.
We're not talking about Jalen Carter running out of gas. The run defense, which Jordan Davis is a huge part of. We're not talking about Jordan Davis being out of shape and not. That, to me, is another one of those hidden storylines.
Yeah.
That just, I know Alec Hallaby likes his hidden yards. Well, hidden storylines, that's one of them.
Cooper DeJean bounced back after last week, maybe concerns
absolutely.
of a rookie wall last week against Adam Thielen. He bounced back.
I just had he had a crafty veteran.
Yeah.
That just sort of owned him on a day. And by the way, I think only six of his catches were on him, though. So,
but Adam Thielen's sneaky athletic, so you got to look out for that.
Yeah, I wonder what that means.
I was going to tweet it out.
What?
But I didn't because the very next play was the Freiermuth touchdown. The one touchdown that the Steelers had yesterday.
Yes.
So Cooper DeJean had a great play the play before.
Okay.
And Tom Brady called Cooper DeJean freakishly athletic. So I was going to tweet out the timestamp of Cooper DeJean no longer sneaky athletic, but now freakish athletic. That's a big moment for a white corner, man.
It is.
He is now the freakish athlete instead of the sneaky athlete. But the very next play was the Freiermuth touchdown. There was no point of tweeting it out at the time. So I'll go back and try to find out exactly the time when Tom Brady said it. But that's a big moment for Cooper DeJean. He is no longer sneaky athletic. He is freakishly athletic.
Connor, I make very few demands. I need you to find. We're going to New Orleans. Because this team is going to New Orleans.
I think we'll get
this
that
team
a little
is going,
bit later.
No. I want that song. I want it.
Okay.
I asked for nothing.
Host of the show wants it, Connor.
I want that song.
We'll get it.
I want you to have it available. Because I'm telling you, this team's going to New Orleans.
All right, real quick, one more thing before we get to the text messages. You mentioned hidden yards or explosive plays.
Alec Hallaby's hidden yards.
All the things that the Eagles love. Eagles love their explosive plays, right?
They do.
So the NFL book that they put out after every single game also adds the top 10 longest plays for the offenses. The Eagles' longest play was 23 yards. So, again, it's not like yesterday and a great day for Jalen Hurts. It was 50, 60-yard
Sure,
plays.
where you get those big fatties.
But 8 of the top 10 longest plays were of at least 20 yards for the Eagles. Chunk plays.
What? 8?
Yeah, 23, 22, 22, 22, 21, 21, 20, and 20. And then the next two were 19 and 17. For the Steelers,
what are their big
so
plays?
their longest play was the flea flicker, the ugly flea flicker that got 31 yards.
That knuckle scraped on the turf.
Yep. The second longest play was 23 yards, which was the longest play for the Eagles. The next 8 were under 20 yards.
Oh, wow.
Now take a listen to this. 17. Okay. 15.
Sure.
Okay. 12. Another 12, 10, 9, 8, and 7.
Sounds like the Sixers song.
Their 10th longest play from line of scrimmage. The Eagles was 17 yards. The Steelers was 7. A run by Najee Harris.
13.
That shows you how dominant the Eagles defense was yesterday.
And honestly, 13 points. They wake up. Think of this, folks. As you're driving to work, as you're ready for start the grind of maybe like the big last full week of the year. The Eagles are number 1 in points per game allowed in defense.
Love that.
Scoring points per game. Now, they're tied with 2 other teams, but they're number 1. We wake up this morning, and nobody had that in the summer.
No, not at all. Not at all. But this is why
it's awesome.
When we talk about the offense and the style of it, like I was okay with the running offense because look at how good it's a perfect marriage. Burning clock. Still getting in the end zone. It's not like the Eagles aren't scoring. They get in the end zone, and then the defense keeps opposing teams out of the end zone. But now we got it all after what we saw yesterday. Give us a text, Connor.
All right, let's go with this one with Jamal from West Philly, who says, speaking of the defense, let's all get together and send Howie Roseman an edible arrangement basket with a note that says, sign Zach Bond right now.
Yeah. I imagine, and I've been saying this for a couple weeks now, that Zach Bond's camp is probably the one that's saying, let's wait.
I was also a little reconnaissance. It's good. Game day is very good for reconnaissance because I get to talk to a lot of people who are around things.
Yeah, of course.
I was told that that's the least thing I should worry about. That's already like an understood.
Oh, I imagine that it is. They don't want another TJ Edwards situation. But if I'm Zach Bond's camp, I'm going,
Well, no,
if
the
he's-
price might be going up.
If he's an all-pro,
right, exactly.
or
But
you name it,
they love him.
right?
They
as
love
should.
him, and he reportedly loves it.
Thank you, Vic
Being
Fangio. We love
Vic
you.
Fangio found him.
We love you, Vic. All right, coming up next. How about a little montage, Johnny? How about we
Love the
hear how it
montage.
sounded when the Eagles beat the Steelers yesterday? Always love doing those after wins. We didn't do it last week because there wasn't much to montage about. We get to do that today. It is Kincade and Salciunas on a Victory Monday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Can you feel it?
The Eagles are back to being Super Bowl contenders.
This team's got a real shot, many reasons to believe.
Right, Nelly. 7:47 on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Eagles set a franchise record, 10 straight wins. Johnny, think back. Close your eyes. I know we do today's talk show,
let me close my eyes.
and we focus on the here
We're not
going to
do a Buddy Ryan topic today?
No.
I'm disappointed.
I just want
Mount Rushmore? No Mount Rushmores?
I want young Johnny
okay.
to think about the Eagles winning 10 straight games, and if you ever thought that would happen.
No.
See, Connor and I have been spoiled, right? We've seen success our entire lives, but
I would just take it.
Not.
I would just take it to what? So it's 2024. So we're going back to 1994 when I was your age. 1995, I was your age.
And I was 0.
And you were 0.
Or 1.
Not even a twinkle in your father's eye. And I never could have thought the Eagles. Well, I never saw what we've seen coming in the second half of my Eagles fan.
Right.
It's been, and I would say one thing is that as a fan, I've never allowed it to spoil me. I've always remembered from whence I came.
Right.
And it was brutal
Yeah.
for a lot of times.
Yeah.
And so in 1994, Jeffrey Lurie was just about to buy the team. So 30 years ago, Jeffrey Lurie was just about to buy this godforsaken franchise at the time. And to me, again, Mr. Lurie, God bless you. Because,
Connor,
what you've created, it helps.
us millennials always catch heat for the microwave society. We want it now. Maybe we've benefited the Eagles. Maybe our society is why this is happening. Have you ever think about that? What are you, Gen X?
I'm Gen X.
Hey, Gen Xers. You ever think about the millennials or the reason why the Eagles are gold standard?
I've never thought the millennials. No, I'm not a big give the millennials a lot of praise. What I would say is
we hold people to different standards.
I'll give Jeffrey Lurie Mr. Lurie, I will absolutely give him 100% is might be the greatest thing to ever happen to the Philadelphia Eagles in my lifetime.
Just saying, millennials are in favor of 14-2 seasons while losing both games to the Cowboys, and not let's go 2-14 as long as those 2 wins are against the Cowboys.
No, but guess what?
I want to beat the Cowboys.
Here's the thing is Buddy Ryan was a buffoon. And there are some in our fan base.
Oh, stop. Last time we brought this up. Oh, it was a good day until you guys ripped Buddy.
Buddy Ryan was a buffoon. He as a head coach.
Yes, as a head coach.
He was an amazing defensive coordinator.
Yes.
He should have stayed one. Because there are people who still celebrate the Buddy Ryan era.
Yeah, no. Let's celebrate the Nick Sirianni era. How about that? Bill Colarulo needs a cigarette after I said that.
Yeah, Bill.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's right.
You know what's wild, though?
What's wild?
To me, and maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe I'm being
You're wrong often.
Often. It doesn't feel that impressive. It doesn't. And I'm telling you, listen to my point. On the grand scheme of what the Philadelphia Eagles have been for the last couple years, it doesn't feel that impressive. This team, we saw them at 10-1 last year. We saw them the year before, that Super Bowl run. They were absolutely beating the brakes off of everybody. It's not just that they've won 10 games. I know that's a franchise mark, but they've done this consistently over the past 3 years.
So
I think all those things are impressive.
No, this is where I say to you though, Connor, that I believe you're a spoiled rotten brat.
Yeah, I know. For saying
that. And the Eagles fans of your generation you've lived in an entirely different Eagles fandom, and it's really weird because it's almost the same length of time of where you guys are in your Eagles fandom to where I'm at double.
Yeah, right.
And I look at it and I say, damn, I've gotten so much joy out of the second half of my life being an Eagles fan that I had the passion when I was your age and younger.
Yeah.
But we never got the reward.
Yeah, now you
for the most part.
have joy.
It's joy
with your passion.
And you know what it is? And 2 expectations.
Yeah, it's not impressive isn't the right word, right? It just doesn't feel out of the norm for them to be this good.
They
just do this so consistently.
Extremely impressed.
Yes, very impressive.
And I was impressed with yesterday's game. Let's play a little montage. Here's how it sounded, courtesy of Fox.
It is America's Game of the Week on a crisp day in December. Beautiful day for a game, and a great one, too, as the 10-3 Steelers take on the 11-2 Eagles. The Battle of Pennsylvania, if you will.
First to throw it again. Blitz is coming. Sees it. There's A.J. Brown off the slant. So already, second play, he's
got a target, going to pick up 7. Hurts looking over the middle. He's got Smith wide open inside the 25. Devontae Smith all the way down to the 20, and a good-looking opening drive for the Eagles. Here's Jake Elliott, who's been a tremendous kicker for this team, but has struggled this year. And his first attempt from 34, up and good. 3rd down and 5. 4-man rush. Hurts gets it on the flat to Gainwell. Kenny Gainwell with the first down. That was sick. Spin move got around Dante Jackson. 3rd and 10. Wilson in trouble, and he is sacked. Josh Sweat gets home, and a stand by this Eagles #1 defense. 2nd and goal. Hurts firing long. Who else? A.J. Brown. Touchdown. They're doing the roll with kid and play dance. Is that what they're doing right there? I guess they're friends again. Just like that.
Did we just become best friends? Yep. For sure. That was our moment to tell everybody shut up. Honestly. So yeah.
3rd and 7. Here's the down at the top. Hurts lets it go. Brown got it again. First down, breaks the tackle. A.J. Brown down to the 25, and he's having a day. 17 more for Brown in his 5th catch already. Hurts, pressure, slings it. It is caught for the touchdown. Devontae Smith.
It was pretty good. I thought Jalen did a great job of taking what the defense gave him. He had 2 100-yard receivers. I always think that's cool when that happens. And Jalen was in complete control. Just another good day by him.
Here's Wilson. Pressure coming. He's in trouble, and he is sacked. Nolan Smith around the edge. Harris drops the ball. It is loose. Still bouncing around. I think Philadelphia has it. They do. Darius Slay came up with the Najee Harris fumble. Hurts design run. Wide open up the middle too. Hurts makes a man miss. Hurts taken down inside the 30. Boy, that thing parted like the Red Sea, and Hurts took advantage of it to pick up 23. Hurts looking out the flat, gets into Gainwell. Makes a couple miss. Still going. This Gainwell fighting towards the end zone. And he's taken down near the 1. 1st and goal. That's the 2nd terrific move he's made on a 3rd down today. Do it again. Hurts shot forward. Jalen Hurts is in. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
When you have everybody in the room that just wants to improve and do the things they know that we're capable of, that's special.
An impressive 27-13 win for the Eagles, and Nick Sirianni here at home as Battle of Pennsylvania goes to the Eagles again as they up their record to 12-2.
I just saw an effort to get better through the midst of, again, what seemed like chaos on the outside, but was just something that we used as something to kind of galvanize us and get better from, and they did that today.
So that's what y'all want to see, huh?
All right, there's the montage. Great
That's
work
really
by Brendan
well done.
Gunn, as always. Incredible work by our BG. #1 in the BG power rankings in Philadelphia.
Well, I don't know.
Thank you, 97.5.
No. Brandon Graham's still got a stranglehold on that.
I don't know. After last week, Brendan Gunn, I believe, is the #1 of the BGs in Philadelphia. All right, coming up next, we do our Monday morning radio host where we break down the press conference from Nick Sirianni, and then we get some insight from a true football man. Andrew DiCecco joins us at 8:10. It is Kincade Salciunas on a Victory Monday morning, which, of course, is presented by Pierce Phelps, Bryant Heating and Air Conditioning Contractors. Visit nopayBryant.com. We'll be right back here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
A big day through the air. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update is brought to you by Corona. Want to win tickets to the Sixers game? Enter for your chance to win at the Fanatics Corona Sixers pregame party events happening all season long, hosted by our man Andrew Salciunas. For details, go to the events page on 975thefanatic.com. The Eagles made it 10 straight wins yesterday, a 27-13 win over the Steelers. That marks the longest win streak in franchise history, and they did it through the air, like everyone was kind of asking all week. Jalen Hurts went for 290 yards passing, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 each to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, who were both over 100 yards in the game. It was an impressive passing performance, and yes, Jalen, it's what we wanted to see.
So that's what y'all wanted to see, huh?
Hey, I mean, you can answer questions that way when you are 12-2 and have won 10 straight. With a loss by the Lions to the Bills yesterday, the Eagles are also tied for the best record in the NFC. So next week when they play Washington, they'll have a chance to lock up the NFC East. and they'll keep their sights on the 1 seed. In less positive news, the Sixers had a tough weekend. Joel Embiid sustained a right sinus fracture against the Pacers. Rookie Jared McCain is out indefinitely after a lateral meniscus tear in the same game. They'll play the Hornets tonight at 7 p.m. You can hear that game live here on The Fanatic. Andrew DiCecco joins us coming up next. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philadelphia 70.
It is 8:02 on Kincade and Salciunas. I hope you have a safe driving to work today. I've been bad with the wishing of safe driving, but it's rainy outside. So
today you need it.
Have a safe driving to work today. And go Birds. That's pretty much all I got to say to start the 8 o'clock hour. Our man Andrew DiCecco is going to be joining us coming up at 8:10 to break down the game yesterday. I know you were sitting next to him in the press box yesterday.
I learned watching him, too.
Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. And remember, he said pretty quickly last week that if they needed to throw the football, he believed, well, they'll be able to do it. They just haven't needed it.
How about this? Having lunch yesterday. I said, so the Lions-Bills, what are you thinking? I said, you think the Bills can do us a favor? He goes, oh, no, they will.
Oh, yeah.
Not even a hesitation. And I'm thinking to myself, that was really quick. And I impressed the whole Pittsburgh media that was sitting next to me. I was right on the border. And the Pittsburgh media members were like, he really called that? I said, yeah.
Bills plus 2.5 hit. We all went 2-2 this week.
Everybody 2-2.
Correct?
And we are all still, shockingly, as we head to the week of Christmas coming up, we are all at 60%. I'm at 60.
Unbelievable.
Connor's at 62. You're at 63. You have 38 wins. Connor has 37. I have 36.
Let's go.
It's unbelievable.
Let's keep on making money.
Make money, baby.
Before we get to our man Andrew DiCecco, it is time now for the Monday morning radio host.
Now, the Monday morning radio host on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, during this segment, instead of being Monday morning quarterbacks, we're Monday morning radio hosts. We break down what Nick Sirianni had to say during his post-game press conference. Another good day for the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday.
Very good day.
We'll start with this one. We played it earlier today. We'll play it again for you now. Of course, a lot of the talking points throughout the week was about the passing game. Here he was talking about it post-game yesterday.
Look how efficient we've been passing the ball for the last 9 weeks, right, through this little stretch that we've been in. I just think it kind of gets a little bit blown out of proportion. You know, Jalen's quarterback rating's been over 100 most of the games. I don't know what he was today, but most of the games he's been over 100. We're averaging 8+ in the pass game. Like, I just think a little bit's been blown out of proportion. We've been running the ball so well. I mean, you can't have all the yards rushing. There's only so many yards you're going to get in a game. You can't have all the yards rushing or have all the yards in the passing game too. And so I think we've been super efficient. Today we needed our passing game even more. You guys look at yards a lot. Like, it was just another good day of passing game because I think we've been super efficient. Like, I don't think you understand how hard it is to be, have that yards per attempt number, that quarterback rating, and take care of the ball and be explosive, which we've been. I mean, today was really good. We threw for more yards, so I know that's going to be, the passing game's back. I don't think the passing game was anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I was pointing out the efficiency, but obviously last week was really, really bad against the Panthers. Yesterday was more than just efficient. Yesterday was very, very good for the passing
also, they
game.
dictated.
Yes.
They dictated with it, which is great.
It was amazing. Now, a moment we haven't really talked much of, the Jalen Carter, was it a right hook or a left hook? I'm trying to envision it. I believe it was a right hook.
Yeah, I got hurt watching it.
Yeah. Kind of not smart by Jalen Carter.
No.
And then there was a moment where Nick Sirianni looked like he tried to talk to him on the sideline.
Talk to him?
Clint Hurt got in
between them. You didn't try to talk to him. Come on now.
Clint Hurt, I would be afraid to ever try to get chest to chest with Clint Hurt, even though my chest would not be at his chest because he's gigantic. Here's Nick Sirianni talking about Jalen Carter and how he needs to be a little bit smarter.
I'll never get into the conversations I have with players, but he made a play that is not part of our standard. My job is to correct that. And regardless of what it is, we're going to correct the things that we need to do better and praise the things we need to do well. And so in that moment, that's what that was. I love Jalen Carter. I love what he brings to this football team. Right there, he needs to be smarter in that situation because it could have gave him the ball back. It didn't give him the ball back, but it could have. And so we're going to need to get better from that. And so that's what you do as a coach. And again, he played a good game, and I'll watch the game to see, how good of a game he played. But we need him to be better in that scenario and be the consistent player that he's been for the entire year.
Great player. Just don't do that.
He is playing. That's all. He's playing all pro caliber. And if you saw Coach Hurt twice. So I watched it like 17 times today, like the Zapruder film.
Yep.
And I'm doing the. It is not now. He's trying to tell Nick, look, you can abuse them later.
Yeah, I got this.
Not now. I got this. You don't need to make a spectacle of it on the sideline. Not now. This guy has been an all-pro player all year long.
Yeah.
I think you get a little bit of grace because I think he gets away with one of these once a game. There's a couple times where we've seen stuff, he's getting away with.
Absolutely, he has.
And it's all right.
But the opposition has gotten away with a hold on every single play.
And Nick has every right to want to coach that moment up. But I don't think you make an example of that guy at that moment. Let Clint Hurt do it.
Here's Sirianni talking about how everything that happened last week, they used it to galvanize the team.
You know, again, I've mentioned this prior to this. Like, they're just so locked in and focused to getting better, and that's it, right? That's all they want to do is get better because they know if we continue to get better, we can win the football game. And so I just saw an effort to get better through the midst of, again, what seemed like chaos on the outside, but was just something that we used as something to kind of galvanize us and get better from, and they did that today.
So I'll say this: he said it would seem like chaos on the outside. There was drama, but they handled it perfectly.
They did a great job with it.
So both can be true, because I know there are still people that believe this was a nothing burger. It was something. It was
wait a minute, a nothing burger that they had to have a team meeting for?
Right.
A nothing burger that Nick Sirianni had to address the players? I mean, come on, stop it.
But the question was, how do they respond? And they responded admirably.
Great job.
And the opposite of last year. Was last year media-driven? No. Everything happened on the inside. But to their credit, they responded so much better this time around. All right, let's play one more for you. Let's go to cut 10, Connor. Nick Sirianni, because we got a game coming up on Sunday, but we've been talking about the 1 seed a lot this morning. Sirianni gives the appropriate coach speak answer of how they're focused on Sunday before the 1 seed.
I know this is boring, everybody, but we're focused on the next game. We'll enjoy this one. I got some family in town. We'll all enjoy this one tonight, and we'll be right back to work tomorrow. We can't control anything about the Lions, so our main focus is to control what we can control. I know that's boring. I know that makes for zero press for you guys, and I apologize for that, but our focus is the next game. Our focus is locked in front of us. Our focus is, now Washington Commanders.
That's
had so many names. I don't know.
That's why it's beauty to have opinion sports talk radio. Nick, you don't have to say it. We'll say it for you. You're playing for the 1 seed. Now you have to beat the Commanders first, but you're playing for the 1 seed. That's our Monday morning radio host here on
Playing for the 1 seed.
You're playing for the 1 seed. I mean, it's unbelievable. Just a couple of weeks ago when the Lions beat the Packers, it wasn't dead. But we were saying, all right, that's pretty much out of the question at this point. And then the Eagles beat the Steelers the way they do. The Lions lose to the Bills.
Correct. It's come together. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable, man. And think about where we were after 4 or 5 weeks this season to start the year. All right, let's head to the Comcast Business Hotline. Every day in business is a big day. Let Comcast Business help you move forward with what's next. From inside the birds and all over the place here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Always love talking to him. Our man, Andrew DiCecco. Andrew, good morning. How are we today?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing great. How are you?
We are doing fantastic. It has been a fun-spirited show through 2 hours and 10 minutes. We love that we get to talk to you now about it. So first things first, as always, the floor is yours. Give us your analysis from yesterday's win.
Yeah, the Eagles flexed a little bit starting that game. Jalen Hurts going 4 for 4 on the opening drive. A.J. Brown, of course, getting that second completion on the slant route, which we all talked about. We talked about it on the pregame show, and Bill and I, of course, on Birds Extra. And I just think that what you saw from the Eagles was their ability to pass the football at a high level, and I think if they kind of went into that with something to prove. They heard all the noise throughout the week, and they went out there and they proved and they made a statement. And when you look at what the Steelers tried to do, they sold out to stop Saquon Barkley, and eventually a team was going to do that. Saquon only had 65 yards on 19 carries, which forced the Eagles' hand to throw the football. Jalen Hurts, super effective, 290 yards and 2 touchdowns, kept the football pretty much protected for the most part, and I think that they checked off every box you could possibly want to see. And I know this doesn't get talked about a lot, guys, especially around this area, but you have to give credit to Nick Sirianni because I thought, given everything that went on throughout the week, it would have been so easy for the Eagles' focus to go elsewhere, and they directed their energy all in the right direction. They came out, they played a detailed, prepared game, and you saw it manifest in the way that it did.
I love the fact that the complete effort we've seen, the trifecta of Rams, Ravens, Steelers. Where does this game, as far as complete victory stand in that trifecta of games?
You know, John, I think it's probably the most complete victory of the season, because when you look at what the Steelers bring from a run defense perspective, they do have some players on the back end that can make some plays. I know Andrew and I talked about that in the pregame show. So they're not exactly devoid of talent, and the Eagles really sliced and diced their way, and they had their way. And not to mention, they were able to author a 10-minute and 29-second drive late in that game to really salt away the victory. The Steelers only possessed the ball for 20 minutes, so I thought all around it was good coaching, and the Eagles played complimentary football. And I think that performance was so dominant, guys, that even the biggest of skeptics are probably now believers.
So Jalen Hurts showed that he could do it. You never doubted it. We talked to you last week about it. But how much more dangerous does this make now the entire offense that defenses were reminded, oh, yeah, they could still throw for almost 300 yards?
Yeah, it's kind of like pick your poison, Andrew. If you're going to sell out to stop Saquon, well, the Eagles have A.J. Brown and Devontae. And Jalen did all that, by the way, with a broken left ring finger, which he said affected his performance. So imagine what he would be able to do had it not affected his performance. This is just a team that could really beat you any which way. And that was a reminder of how effective the passing game can be. And I also think it's important to say the passing game, it wasn't just the Panthers game. It didn't look the way that it should throughout the season, so it's not something that we manufactured. But I think that they answered a lot of questions and checked off a lot of boxes, being able to start fast, have a rhythmic offense, timing-based. A.J. and Devontae combined for 23 targets and 219 yards and 2 touchdowns receiving. So that was the exclamation mark on what had been a very eventful week.
I am very surprised to see that it seems that the Eagles, like 86 points the last 5 games. I tweeted it out earlier. The Bills have given up 86 the last 2 weeks. It still seems that this team has doubters across the league. Is this the kind of victory you think that will finally change that narrative?
I do. And there's always going to be some detractors, John. For whatever reason, the Eagles always seem to have it. And,
what would it be? What would you think it would be, the detractors? What would they lean on?
I think that there's still skeptics as to the legitimacy of the Eagles' defense. But really, you can only play who's on your schedule. They can get after the quarterback. They can defend the pass. And they've proven that they can be a sound run defense. And I also think there's always going to be questions, more from a national perspective, about Jalen Hurts and his ability to be a consistent quarterback from pillar to post from the beginning of the game all the way to the end. And, and here in Philadelphia, we see it. We've seen it from the spring all the way up until this point right now. We've seen Jalen Hurts for a number of years now. We know what he's capable of. We've seen him do it, which is why I was really confident in the passing game being able to take shape when they needed it to. But I think at this game, even like I said, even from the biggest skeptics out there, I think you're going to see today, whatever TV station you end up watching, I think you're going to see them start to sing the praises of the Eagles and start to come around. And even Nick Sirianni, I believe, is going to get some praise. And it's going to be obviously very, very much warranted, because coaches don't get much credit. They don't get talked about unless it's a loss or there's a coaching blunder. But you have to give Nick Sirianni a lot of credit for being able to navigate a very challenging week and having his team ready.
You mentioned that people might still question the legitimacy of this defense. Well, I mean, it's been happening all season at this point. So, Andrew, what makes this defense so good? And I guess I'll also ask, what would be that one area of concern still? Because for me, it was the pass rush, and yet they're getting home every single week. So I don't know what anybody could still be concerned about.
Yeah, it's a great question, Andrew. And I think what makes this defense so exceptional is their ability to play complementary. So all 3 levels are working in unison. They've adopted a no-name defense, which is what Nakobe Dean has always talked about, where there's not one player you can fixate on. They all rally to the football with urgency, with ferocity. They're all on the same page. The communication across the board has been really fundamentally sound, and they've all really taken to coaching. So I think that Vic Fangio's messaging has been obviously very well received, and the position coaches have done a really good job in developing the players. But it doesn't matter that they have young players on the back end, because there's someone like a Reed Blankenship back there who has really taken ownership of the communication. Zach Vaughn and Nakobe Dean holding together that second level. And then that defensive line, I mean, Jalen Carter is a one-man wrecking crew. But to answer the second part of your question, if there's one area, I guess, if you're going to look at it and wonder if that's going to be sustainable, it would probably be the pass rush, because right now they're only implementing a 3-man pass rush. So Jalix Hunt, the rookie third-rounder from Houston Christian, is their third edge rusher. Right now, it hasn't been a problem because Josh Sweat's getting home, Nolan Smith's getting home, and J. Wilkes Hunt has given you some really good snaps. So it's not a problem until it is. But that's a very lean rotation that they have there. Charles Harris, who they acquired off waivers, only played one defensive snap yesterday.
You're going to be with us on Friday, so we'll get into this knee-deep then. But the Commanders and the team that they are, how much of a challenge do you think this is on Sunday, especially after 3 pretty emotional wins in the last 4 weeks?
They are a challenging team, John, only because Jaden Daniels and his ability to make plays outside of structure, and it forces you to be disciplined and fundamentally sound. But the Eagles have the benefit of playing them once before. I thought they did a really good job of containing him without really having to have a quarterback spy devoted to that. And I really do think that right now they're playing with such confidence. And Nick Sirianni and the Eagles have proven week to week that they're literally focused on that game, the task in hand. They're not looking back. They're not looking forward. They're going to be ready for the Commanders. If last week didn't derail their focus, this week certainly won't. I know that they're coming off in a number of emotional wins here, but there is such a belief and a confidence with this team, and you got the sense of that in the locker room that they know that they need to take care of business because everything they want is right in front of them.
Based off of what you picked up in the locker room after the game, everybody good? Everybody clear? I still see John's going back and forth with someone on Twitter right now that still believes the media fabricated this story.
I don't know how that happened.
So besides that point, which it's not fabricated.
Besides the team meeting they held where people apologized.
You were in the locker room post game.
Nothing's more annoying to me than to hear that they showed the media.
Yeah, really?
This wouldn't even be a talking point had it not been for Brandon Graham and what he said. But that's beside the point. To answer your question, Andrew, everybody was good. The question that I have, and I'm sure a lot of folks are going to be keeping an eye on, is the status of Landon Dickerson. Because Slay was okay. I spoke to him after the game. He said he was cleated, and obviously he was bleeding. So you have to get that taken care of because you can't be on the field with that. Saquon Barkley, it's probably more of a thigh issue. So he was... he obviously was back in the game. A.J. Brown spoke after the game, so that's always a good sign, and we'll find out a lot more when the injury report comes out Wednesday. But I didn't see Landon personally in there, and I just get the sense that there's not a lot known on that right now, so that's something I'll be keeping an eye on.
All right, one final thing I want to ask you. You yesterday did not hesitate before the game to say that you thought the Bills were going to take out the Lions. Did the Lions have one more loss in them at the Bears, at the 49ers, home with the Vikings?
I believe that they do, John. This is a team that can score with anybody, but they are the walking wounded on defense. They don't have they can't sustain another injury at that unit, and I just really believe that they're starting to come unraveled. And they probably peaked a little too early. That's at least my read on it. Where I think the Eagles started out slow, and then midway through the season they're really starting to take off. So they're kind of going in different directions. Now they can put up points with the best of them, but I really think defensively it's going to be their detriment.
Andrew, we appreciate the time as always. As John mentioned, we'll be talking to you on Friday for the entire hour leading up to Eagles Commanders. Keep up the great work. We'll be listening to you throughout the week and, of course, reading your work as well. Thanks, man.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good week.
There he is, Andrew DiCecco on the Comcast Business Hotline.
He gets a lot of info out in a short time.
He is incredible, and we truly, truly love having him on twice a week. Mondays after the game, Fridays for the hour. Can't wait for the 8 o'clock hour on Friday. Because that also means it's Friday, and that means we're almost done. All right.
Exactly.
I mean, we can also be real with you guys.
Let's be honest, yes.
We love what we do, but we also love Fridays like you guys do. All right, coming up next, we will check the scores around the NFL yesterday. We will give you an update on the playoff picture and one of Johnny's teams that he fears. They had a pretty damn good game yesterday.
Yeah.
It's Kincade and Salciunas on a Victory Monday morning, a celebratory Monday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
The Eagles take to the air. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update is brought to you by PayPal. Get exclusive cashback offers in the app, and with the PayPal debit card, stack 5% more in your chosen monthly category on up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay, PayPal. The Eagles took to the air in their 10th straight victory, a 27-13 win over the Steelers. Now, that 10 straight wins mark is the longest win streak in Eagles franchise history, and passing the ball, well, it's what got them to number 10. Jalen Hurts went for 290 190 yards through the air, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 each to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, who were both over 100 yards receiving in the game. And it comes at a perfect time after a week of questioning of the passing game. So Jalen Hurts had to talk about it after the game.
So that's what y'all want to see, huh?
Pretty straight to the point from QB1. And he's right. That's what a lot of people were asking for. So the Eagles, they're now 12-2. And with a loss by the Lions to the Bills yesterday, the Eagles are tied for the best record in the NFC. They're going to play Washington this coming Sunday. They win that game, they're NFC East champions. So everything going swimmingly for the Birds right now. Not so much for the Sixers. In less positive news, the Sixers had a tough weekend. Joel Embiid sustained a right sinus fracture against the Pacers. He'll be out for some time. Rookie Jared McCade is out indefinitely after a lateral meniscus tear. Sixers will play the Hornets tonight at 7 p.m. You can hear that game live here on The Fanatic. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Can you feel it?
The Eagles are back to being Super Bowl. Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. I hope you're having a nice, safe drive into work with the rainy, gross conditions, but it's a beautiful Monday following Eagles' victory. We'll go around the NFL momentarily and then update you on the NFL playoff picture. But real quick, we got some goodies to give away throughout the course of the week. What a perfect time for our friends at Wawa to hand us over 5 $50 Wawa gift cards.
Oh, that's really good. Those Wawa folks are great.
So once a day throughout the course of this week, we'll be giving away a $50 gift card. Happy Wawa days with Kincade and Salciunas. You've been doing the reads,
sure.
And you've been doing a great job. And
Thank you, Wawa.
And you're right. I love it whenever you do the read. You're like, hey, you're probably entering a Wawa as we speak, so why not pick up a gift card while
and
you're
if you go to
it?
the one on Belmont, you honestly deserve some sort of an award for your parking.
Damn right, man. It's parking,
crazy.
It's incredible. Stop in and get a Wawa card. A great gift for anyone on your list. Could be a teacher, mail carrier, trash collector, dog walker, babysitter, landscaper. You name it. Available on a rack at the register. Available in $10s, $25, $50, $100 increments. And, of course, we're giving away $50 Wawa gift cards throughout the course of the week. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to build the Kincade and Salciunas order.
Okay.
And at the end of the show today, around the key 3, we will ask you to call back in and tell us what the order was. So, Johnny, I will let you go first.
I got an easy one.
Of the Kincade and Salciunas Wawa order.
How about a meatball shorty with provolone? That's that's the go-to if you just want something to little snack on. Meatball, provolone. That's a good lunch.
Pick one up for Christy after I ate the meatballs yesterday.
You should. I think that was my suggestion, and you took my punchline without you even saying it. I didn't even know you did.
Meatball shorty with provolone.
With provolone, that's it.
All right, I will give one next segment. Connor will give one in the 9 o'clock hour, and then toward the end of the show, right around the key 3, because, you have your Von C Brewing beer while eating your Wawa. That's just a perfect combination there. We'll tell you, or we'll have you call in, and the winner will get the $50 gift card for today. All right, so yesterday, obviously we've been talking about the Eagles' victory all day today, and we have mentioned numerous times the Bills beating the Lions, which ties the Eagles with the Lions record-wise. Of course, the Lions still ahead because of tiebreaker scenarios, but the Eagles could still get that 1 seed. You said 5 things need to happen.
3 wins by the Eagles, 1 loss by the Lions, 1 loss by the Vikings.
And the Vikings play tonight in Minnesota against the Bears.
And the Vikings have 4 games left. The Vikings have 4 left, which are very dangerous. They've got the Bears tonight at home. Then they go to Seattle. Then they play the Packers. And then they play at the Lions.
Yeah, it's tough.
Vikings are losing one of those games. That's going to be taken care of. But what the best scenario would be, Vikings lose either at Seattle or at home to the Packers. And then they beat the Lions the last week. Eagles win out. They're the 1 seed.
That'd be perfect.
The Seattle one's going to be tougher now because Geno Smith's injury yesterday. Sam Howell.
So is he out?
Terrible.
Wait a minute.
Not sure yet.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear that part of it that he was out.
But if it's Sam Howell, the 3 of us beat that team.
Sam Howell stinks.
Sam Howell almost beat the Eagles twice last year. He almost beat the Eagles twice.
And he does have weapons.
He passed for I think 700 yards.
But the
in
Eagles'
2
defense
games.
was trash. The Vikings' defense is not, which that's probably a major difference.
I'm telling you, Seattle's a tough place to play.
Yeah, of course.
We there's many now. Again, for you Lions people, I've had a few people asking about the Lions. Lions are at the Bears next week. Lions are at the 49ers. Monday Night Football on December 30th. And then home to the Vikings. We need the Niners to stay. They play the Dolphins this weekend.
Yeah.
We need them to win that game. They need to be still alive technically to not be eliminated.
I think they died last week, honestly, but I get what you're saying.
That's what we need.
They are still in the playoff hunt.
Because other than that, I don't see the Lions losing unless they lose to the Vikings.
By the way, Lions, Eagles, and Vikings have all clinched playoff spots. In the AFC, the Chiefs, Bills, Steelers, and Texans have all clinched playoff spots. So some of your scores around the NFL: Commanders hold on against the Saints. Eagles would have won the NFC East yesterday if the Commanders lost to the Saints. And the Saints, I was all for them going for 2. You got nothing to lose.
I was telling them to do it, too, as we were watching the end of it.
And then it was a horrible play. We actually were doing it live on the air, and I think
which is against the rules.
We weren't doing play-by-play. We were just informing people what was going on. And Connor, I believe you asked. Were you the one that asked? Do they get this? Yeah. And all three of us said, "Yeah,
live vibe."
We all wanted them to go for it, but none of us thought that they were going to get it because the Saints stink.
See, I would have at home. By the way, I would have not. I would have not gone for it, even though as a fan. In retrospect, at home, I am taking it to overtime.
Yeah, Saints stink. They had nothing.
Yeah, not with Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, but they weren't. They weren't. The Saints aren't. It's not like they're eliminated. They weren't even eliminated in the division. Like, I mean, they weren't. Their season wasn't done. Yeah. Remember, the Bucs and the Falcons suck.
They fired their coach,
I understand, but they weren't done. Their season wasn't done.
Quarterbacks play. I understand.
And Spencer Rattler did better than the
he
tomato
did once
can
they
threw
put him
out
in.
there.
Yeah. Chiefs beat the Browns yesterday, 21-7. Jameis Winston was just dreadful. 3 picks for Jameis Winston. Dorian Thompson-Robinson comes in. He throws a pick. But the big story for Kansas City was the injury to Patrick Mahomes. He got banged up a few times. And then the final blow was a sack that he took. Carson Wentz actually had to end up going into the game. And Mahomes is listed as week to week. We'll see what Andy says today.
They have a game Saturday.
Yeah, he's not playing in that one.
Okay, the Saturday game, forgetting the opponent at the moment. But it's a national game, and we can see.
They
play Texans.
Yeah, Texans.
That is on. That is at home. They probably let them sit that one because they play Wednesday after Christmas Day.
That's why they're playing Saturday. In case people are wondering why Saturday.
Pittsburgh. Yeah. And then they're at Pittsburgh. That's a brutal schedule.
It is tough stretch for them.
Now, my guess is they don't play. They have a 2-game buffer on the Bills, so don't play Mahomes against this weekend against the Texans, and then play him against Pittsburgh.
Unless you win, and maybe they go.
And then you're like, no, don't play him at all.
Let's give an extra week.
Yeah, don't play him at all at that point.
So we'll be watching Wentz on Saturday. Bengals beat the Titans yesterday, 37-27. The Giants it's embarrassing. They lose 35-14 to the Ravens. Nobody thought that the Giants would win that game, but the paper bags are officially back at MetLife Stadium, which is just a beautiful sight to see. Texans beat the Dolphins 20-12 in an ugly game for the Dolphins. That McDaniel, he just got the extension. I love this. Oh, you know what, boy genius? Let's give him an extension. What has he accomplished?
I have no idea. I think he's a goof.
That dude's accomplished nothing in his career.
I think he's a goof.
Oh, but Tua's passing yards. Okay, they lose every single week. It seems like they're 6-8 this year.
Yeah, I don't get it.
That team. It's just one of those teams where they're never going to be relevant.
I just I don't understand what the fascination is with him. But,
no idea.
Hey,
no idea. Cowboys beat the Panthers 30-14. But here's the big game that I wanted to point out. Packers beat the Seahawks yesterday. Obviously,
that's the big one.
That's a big one because the Packers are now 10-4, which pretty much it doesn't lock them into the playoffs. But they got a 2-game lead over the Seahawks.
No, it almost does.
Yeah.
I mean, the Packers are right now the 6th seed. They've got that game with the Vikings coming up. They could move to the 5 seed. But remember, the Rams moved to the 4 seed last night.
Right.
So what would be a better matchup for Packers? Like the Packers and the Vikings, one of them is going to play the Rams. One of them is going to play the Bucs as it sits right now.
Right. And as you mentioned, the Bucs. That's the game I wanted to point out. That's the team that you're still.
Yes.
They're the Niners to me.
They are.
I just need them to be dead. That's your squad. You just need them to be dead. The Bucs, and they keep on winning, man.
Yeah, I mean the Bucs are a team, and it has been clear, absolutely clear, that the boogeyman with the defensive game plan for Jalen Hurts is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Right.
And they are also a team this year, the only team that has beaten Detroit and the Eagles.
Right. They're now 8-6, by the way.
And
the
everyone's going to go,
6-7.
Oh, no, that was because AJ was out. That was because they make Jalen Hurts look foolish. They really do. They really knock him around.
Yeah, Todd Bowles has some sort of answer on Jalen Hurts.
He has the blueprint.
I won't lose any sleep over that matchup if it happens. I won't even get 8 hours. I'll get 9 hours of sleep the night before that game.
Wow, Baker Mayfield has just enjoyed every matchup.
Now, I will say this.
Against the Eagles, too.
If the season ends today, the Eagles play the Commanders in the first round. The Bucs play the Packers. I could still like the Packers in that game.
So could I, potentially. But the thing is, remember, we would want, I believe, if it's like right now, Buccaneers and the Rams are the 3 and the 4. We would need the Buccaneers or the Rams to win their game to have them be the second game that you'd play if you're the 2 seed. That's what you'd prefer.
Yeah, you don't want to battle the NFC North. Yeah, you don't want to battle the NFC North in the second round.
And the Lions would then have to face one of those.
Yeah. Or the Eagles just have the first round bye. That'd be pretty cool, too.
We're all for that, baby.
Still definitely a possibility. All right, we'll give our next Wawa order coming up next for your chance to win a $50 Wawa gift card. Perfect time right before the holidays. Also, if you missed it earlier, our man Brendan Gunn did a great job. The number 1 BG in the city right now. Brendan Gunn put together a montage of that Eagles victory yesterday over the Steelers. A historic win, 10 straight franchise record for the Birds. Hear that again next. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now, a Birds.
Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. On a Victory Monday morning, it's been a lot of fun today talking about this Eagles team who have now won 10 straight games. We'll check the text line and the phones in a second. But yesterday, that win was great. And that's why we want to relive it. We didn't really relive last week's win against the Panthers. That was not something that
really wasn't worth it.
That we wanted to have fun with. So our man Brendan Gunn, number one BG in the city, as of right now, in my opinion, he climbed the ranks in the power rankings. He had a big moment today. He had to try to bounce back with this montage, and man, did he knock it out of the park.
He really did.
Take a listen.
It is America's Game of the Week on a crisp day in December. Beautiful day for a game and a great one, too, as the 10-3 Steelers take on the 11-2 Eagles. The Battle of Pennsylvania, if you will.
First to throw it again. Blitz is coming. Sees it. There's A.J. Brown off the slant. So already, second play, he's got a target. Going to pick up 7. Hurts looking over the middle. He's got Smith wide open inside the 25. DeVonta Smith all the way down to the 20, and a good-looking opening drive for the Eagles. Here's Jake Elliott, who's been a tremendous kicker for this team, but has struggled this year. And his first attempt from 34, up and good. Third down and 5. 4-man rush. Hurts gets it on the flat to Gainwell. Oh, what a move! Kenny Gainwell with the first down. That was sick. Spin move got around Dante Jackson. 3rd and 10. Wilson in trouble, and he is sacked. Josh Sweat gets home, and a stand by this Eagles number 1 defense. Second and goal. Hurts firing long. Who else? A.J. Brown. Touchdown. They're doing the roll with kid and play dance. Is that what they're doing right there? I guess they're friends again. Just like that.
Did we just become best friends? Yep. For sure. That was our moment to tell everybody shut up. Honestly. See you.
3rd and 7. A.J. Brown at the top. Hurts lets it go. Brown got it again. First down, breaks the tackle. A.J. Brown down to the 25, and he's having a day. 17 more for Brown in his 5th catch already. Hurts, pressure, slings it. It is caught for the touchdown. DeVonta Smith.
It was pretty good. I thought Jalen did a great job of taking what the defense gave him. He had 2 100-yard receivers. I always think that's cool when that happens. And Jalen was in complete control. Just another good day by him.
Here's Wilson. Pressure coming. He's in trouble, and he is sacked. Knowing Smith around the edge. Harris drops the ball. It is loose. Still bouncing around. I think Philadelphia has it. They do. Darius Slay came up with the Najee Harris fumble. Hurts design run. Wide open up the middle too. Hurts makes a man miss. Hurts taken down inside the 30. Boy, that thing parted like the Red Sea, and Hurts took advantage of it to pick up 23. Hurts looking out the flat, gets into Gainwell, makes a couple miss. Still going. It's Gainwell fighting towards the end zone. And he's taken down near the 1. 1st and goal. That's his second terrific move he's made on a 3rd down today. Do it again. Hurts shot forward. Jalen Hurts is in. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
When you have everybody in the room that just wants to improve and do the things they know that we're capable of, that's special.
An impressive 27-13 win for the Eagles, and Nick Sirianni here at home as Battle of Pennsylvania goes to the Eagles again as they up their record to 12-2.
I just saw an effort to get better through the midst of, again, what seemed like chaos on the outside, but was just something that we used as something to kind of galvanize us and get better from, and they did that today.
So that's what y'all want to see, huh?
All right, great job by Brendan Gunn. Just an amazing montage after an amazing game yesterday, and a lot of fun. Passing offense was alive and thriving yesterday. The defense was spectacular, and what's crazy is Saquon Barkley, missed a period of time. We don't know why yet.
We don't, but he said a thigh issue was the buzz.
That's what DiCecco said.
After the game was the buzz. Got dinged up on a thigh. They'll work on that all week. He'll be fine. He was back in the game.
But it's amazing, John,
highly
right?
Effective.
He barely played to his standard and still rushed for 65 yards.
65, 74 total yards.
It's unbelievable.
And, he's going to pass in the first quarter on Sunday. He's going to pass the 2,000-yard mark for the season. He needs 36 total yards, pass catching or otherwise. 36 he will pass in game 15. He will pass 36 yards to 2,000-yard total season.
Yeah, maybe not in the first quarter.
You don't think so, eh?
The Eagles' first quarters this year. I know they had a great one on Sunday.
Right.
In that game, you will.
That is the truth. Maybe I want to change that number a little bit there, Connor.
So he played 61% of the snaps yesterday and still rushed for 65 yards. He usually plays, well over 70. There's been a couple of games, like the Cowboys game when they were up big, he didn't play in like the fourth quarter. The Giants game where they were up big, he didn't play in the fourth quarter. But he's usually playing 70, 80, if not 90% of the snaps. He only played 61% of the snaps yesterday and still rushed for 65 yards.
And it was frigid, too. So if he has a thigh issue going on,
yeah,
might
you
have been a
gotta
little
be careful. But it's amazing. This guy, and we barely talked about him today because of the passing offense story.
Well, he's got plenty of love this year.
Yeah, yes, he has. All right, coming up next, we'll reset the show. You'll hear some audio from Sal Paolantonio, if you missed it earlier, about the conversations that took place by the team earlier this week. And we'll hear from you because, look, this is a celebratory day. 10 straight wins, a franchise record for the Eagles. Let's talk about it. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles answer the critics. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update is brought to you by PJ's Winter Wonderland. Go ahead and check it out. Get through the cold winter blues by meeting at PJ Wellahan's for their brand new seasonal drinks and food menus, including their new Wing of the Month, Lemon Pepper. The Eagles answered some criticism from this past week in their win over the Steelers. Now, first and foremost, that win makes them 12-2 on the year. It's their 10th straight. That is a franchise record for games won consecutively. It was 27-13, the final against Pittsburgh. And a lot of people were questioning the Eagles' ability to throw the ball at an elite rate. Well, yesterday, they did everything they could to disprove that narrative. Jalen Hurts threw for 290 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith each caught one of those touchdowns and were both over 100 yards receiving. And Jalen Hurts, well, he had his chance to answer specifically for that after the game.
So that's what y'all wanted to see, huh?
Pretty simple from number one. And yes, that's what a lot of the fan base wanted to see. And something else that we were rooting for yesterday was the Lions potentially falling to the Bills. That wish came true as well. The Eagles now tied for the best record in the NFC. So the 1 seed still in play. The Eagles will play Washington with a chance to win the division this Sunday down in Landover. In less positive news, Sixers had a nightmare weekend. Joel Embiid had a right sinus fracture against the Pacers. Rookie Jared McCain out indefinitely after a lateral meniscus tear. They'll play the Charlotte Hornets tonight down in Charlotte at 7 p.m. You can hear that game live here on The Fanatic. I'm Connor Thomas for 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philadelphia 76ers basketball.
Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic on this Victory Monday morning, which is presented to us by our friends at Pierce Phelps Bryant Heating and Air Conditioning Contractors. Visit nopaybryant.com. And I forgot, I got to give our second order of the Kincade and Salciunas Wawa order. If you're just tuning in, well, then you missed the first one. However, every day this week, we will be giving away a $50 Wawa gift card. And what we will do throughout the show is give different orders. So John gave one earlier in the show. I cannot tell you what it is because that means you weren't listening.
Yes.
I will be giving you mine right now. Because you went with the entree.
Which you just gave a clue.
Yeah, I like to help the people.
Don't give any clues.
Oh, you can go back.
Let the people who actually listen win.
Well, if you're listening right now, you're listening. You
No.
Go back on
Stop
YouTube.
cheating.
They probably already know. I'll give the snack.
All right.
I love, in the little heated section, the cheese stuffed pretzels.
Really?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Wait a
That's a
minute.
go-to
Wait a minute.
grabby for me.
You mean in the rack?
Yeah, like as you're checking out.
I didn't even know that.
Dude, oh my God.
I don't tend to go to that rack.
Those cheese pretzels, man, if you get the right one where it's still...
What kind?
The cheddar.
There's cheddar?
They have like the jalapeno one, jalapeno cream cheese. I'll mess around with it, but I like just the cheddar.
Okay.
So
Wow,
that will be my addition to the order.
Thanks for Chubby Tunis. You just
Trust me, dude.
You just dragged me down the line.
Dude, these things...
oh, that sounds good.
Yeah,
And they're warm, too?
Yeah, man, they're on the rack.
Have you tried this, Connor?
Yeah, I've had one once. You guys are killing me because I can't eat because I got blood work coming up. So as soon as I get that done,
Then you're heading to Wawa.
I'm legitimately going directly to a Wawa.
The cheddar cheese stuffed pretzel, and here's the only concern is sometimes if they've been sitting out all day, they could get a little tough. But if you get one, like they just first put it out there.
Oh,
dude, just perfection.
Sounds good.
All right, real quick before we get back to the game yesterday and what happened yesterday, there was something that happened pregame yesterday that was somewhat predicted on this show. That we thought we would see him back at Lincoln Financial Field. Now, he was there as a guest yesterday, but Joe Douglas was walking the sidelines with Howie and Alec Halaby. Oh, did you?
Yeah, rode an elevator with him.
So Joe Douglas, as we remember, was the assistant to Howie Roseman, assistant GM years ago, and was great with Howie. So great that he got the GM job in New York with the Jets and got fired earlier this year. Now,
deservingly so.
Yes, because of the Rodgers fiasco. His drafting has still been very good. It's just when you sign Aaron Rodgers, you're taking a major risk, and that major risk has blown up in their face. I mean, they're a mess, that team. So Joe Douglas was walking around the sideline. I would rehire him for some sort of drafting consultant.
I think you can expect that. You can expect that.
Who is the guy? Forgive me. I don't know if he's still around. Who is the guy that Howie wanted to give him a fist bump?
Tom, what's his name?
Tom Donahoe?
Yes.
Yeah, is he still around with the Eagles?
I'm not sure if he didn't pass.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure.
Because that was the Milton Williams selection. They drafted Milton Williams.
I'm not sure.
Whoever the guy was that Howie wouldn't get a fist bump back from, it was reported wanted like a corner or a safety with that selection.
Yeah.
So they need somebody to work alongside with Howie. So why not bring back Joe Douglas? I doubt anybody's clamoring to hire him as a GM with what happened with the Jets.
Sorry, Joe, if you're listening.
Seriously.
I get you.
They fell apart.
You.
Fell
They
apart
did.
with
They
the
fell
Jets.
apart.
You
Yes.
know?
He let Aaron Rodgers take his power. Which is just unbelievable. Because you get desperate.
Right.
And you want to win. So you're willing to make the deal with the stupid devil. And he's stupid. He is a guy who every move is for him, not for a team. A general manager looks out for the whole team. Aaron Rodgers looks out for himself.
Yeah, absolutely looks out for himself.
By the way, Donahoe, Eagles parted ways with him in 2022.
And he's okay.
Yeah,
and he's still with us. But yeah,
he's still with us.
They
Not
part
with the
ways.
Eagles.
Okay. So you need somebody to have that sort of position to work alongside.
That's not bad. No, I was good. And it was good. He was there yesterday. Seemed like he was welcomed back. A lot of people were nice to see him.
Love that. By the way, Wawa e-gift cards, you can also get those. There's nothing better than a Wawa gift card for the holidays. Send your team or coworkers an e-gift card and treat them to Wawa instantly, personalized in minutes, send in seconds. We could do that for Connor after his blood work.
You could also send it to, you can do that. You could also send it down to Florida.
Yeah.
Because there are Wawas all over Florida now.
Absolutely.
So now you could send, like, if you have relatives down there who miss Philly.
Yeah.
A Wawa gift card's great.
That's a beautiful way to treat somebody in the holidays. All right, so yesterday, Eagles win. They set a franchise record for 10th straight win.
Awesome.
And for all the concern about the passing offense, those questions were answered yesterday. Now, we've had some fun with this throughout the show, even though people still are not necessarily having fun with it. They're angry that the media created some sort of drama when the players created it themselves.
I was dealing with a guy who on Twitter who did not even know the story.
I know.
So I'm like, seriously, dude.
That's why earlier in the show,
where you been?
We played Jalen sitting down at the podium, and we played AJ saying, no, that was us trying to tell you guys to shut up. What do you mean, us?
Us?
You're the ones that said it.
You talked. Then Brandon Graham talked. Stop it.
And nobody disagreed with what AJ said.
No.
It's just what then transpired was what Brandon Graham said on Monday night.
By the way, we opened Monday's show last week, and I had to go check. We opened Monday's show saying that we both believed, on the record, to make it clear, that this was a giant nothing burger.
Yes.
That this would not derail the team, that it's AJ speaking up.
It was then what Brandon Graham said Monday night that changed.
And that set the fire.
That changed everything.
But we also thought that wouldn't end up on Tuesday's show.
Correct.
That it would not derail the team. So
this show's smart.
If you have issues with hosts that blew it up and created something, take it to them.
Yeah, not here.
Take it to them.
This show stood in solidarity.
Well, I mean, we just
with the Eagles passing offense.
We didn't look. I think what Brandon Graham did was dumb.
Yeah, it
was dumb, and that's why he stood in front of his teammates, took the blame for it, and apologized.
Right,
which is a class act and a leader.
Everybody on this team, the coaching staff and the players, handled it very well.
They did. They
like
did.
Nick Sirianni
real good
deserves a lot of credit for this not blowing up.
Yes.
And was yesterday's game plan in response to it? I do believe so.
I do too. Yeah,
I don't think if A.J. Brown speaks out that Saquon Barkley's only getting, I know he ended up having 19 carries because they were up, but I imagine they would have ran more.
Sure.
The opening drive was a lot of passing plays. I think that was in response to everything that happened.
The only thing that was weird about that game was, though, at 17-3, I really thought it was going to go off the rails. Like they were going to end up like winning like 27-10, 30-10. It still was 17-13 at halftime.
Right.
Which sort of was driving me nuts. There was a lot of something good. And I can tell you this because he said it on the record. Cooper DeJean returning punts is going to drive Vic Fangio nuts.
Yeah, that shot
he
that
took
he took on the sideline. By the way, no flag on that one.
He took two collisions yesterday that easily could have ended up with a separated shoulder, a collarbone, or whatever. For God's sakes, Will Shipley can return kicks. I guarantee you.
Well, when Covey's back, he's going to be returning.
Yeah, well, hopefully he'll be back.
So,
because this is reckless.
You were in the building yesterday before we get to all our topics. That DeJean, where he got hit and then there was the second hit.
Yes.
They never showed like a sideline angle. Was he still in bounds?
He was still slightly. I think he was half in bounds, half out.
Well, then how is there no personal foul, unnecessary roughness?
I think the
play was dead in my eyes, and then this guy comes in and lays a lick on DeJean.
Well, here's what I would say: it was too close. I think it was too close for anyone to know.
Really, I thought it was hard. Like I stood up. I was like, "Oh!"
Well, I thought it was too close.
Okay,
but that's just me. And it was on the far sideline from us.
Right. So, opening drive for the Eagles, by the way, in case people are saying, no, they didn't scheme up pass plays just to make everyone happy.
Nah.
Your opening drive, pass, run, pass, called pass, but Hurts got 1 yard on the run, field goal.
How about the Calcaterra catch, too?
Great
first catch.
Yeah.
Great. I'm telling you, another Andrew DiCecco feather in his cap as if he needs them.
Yeah.
He flat out said to me, I don't know how much. When Goddard was out, I was like, yeah, I'm a little worried about that. And he's like, I don't know how much he'll be missed. I think it's clear. Dallas Goddard, it's not a rip on Dallas.
No.
Get well, get back. We'd love to see it.
Yeah, especially for blocking in the playoffs when you're running the football.
Correct. But Grant Calcaterra has done a really, really fine job.
So, have all your concerns been addressed? Let's go to the text line. We'll get to the phones as well. It's 610-632-0975. The biggest concern for a lot of people was the passing game. There were people that went over the top and said, Jalen Hurts stinks and they're never going to win with him. I mean, how many texts and calls did we take last week that you would think last week the season was over by some of the reaction.
I think there was some people with PTSD from last December.
Right, because of
and that's understandable.
The vibes as well, not just the talent. But what are people saying on the text line, Connor?
Yeah, a lot of people that love what the Eagles did on Sunday. Obviously, our buddy Jeff from D.C. checks in and says, if you have concerns after that game, you're an idiot, and I cannot help you. They just beat the brakes off the Pittsburgh Steelers, for crying out loud. No negativity allowed today. None.
I love it. So that's how I started in the first segment. I think that's sort of unfair, a little bit of me, like that I just don't want to hear it today. The negativity stuff, it's just not – today it's not appropriate. There's not a storyline for that. If you're creating one, if you're looking for one, and I don't know where you're going to find it. Really don't.
Yeah, I mean, you're not getting one after this game.
No.
I don't know,
I don't know what you're doing.
there is to point out. But there was something that was needed to be addressed by the team. Sal Pal yesterday, he was doing the color analyst work with Steve Levy. The game was the ESPN radio broadcast of the week. And Steve Levy asked Sal Pal, hey, is everybody happy now in Philadelphia? Take a listen to what Sal Pal had to say about the conversations that took place during the week.
You heard Devontae Smith in the interview with Courtney Cronin after the game, and he said, you know, we have awkward conversations. We're allowed to have awkward conversations on this team because of the culture of the coaching staff and these players, and that's what they did this week. I was there at NovaCare. There were some very difficult conversations that had to be had after what was said in the win after Carolina. They said them. Things got addressed. It was out in the open. They fixed the passing game, and they come out here and dominate a much better team in the Pittsburgh Steelers in the second half. So where is this team going? They stay in the division. They don't have to get on the plane. They've got Washington at Washington next week. Then the Cowboys come in, and then the Giants come in. So they could very easily close out the division with no problem.
So wait. So it wasn't fake news. Okay, I just want to make sure. I saw the plane flying over.
Yeah.
So it wasn't fake news when the team had to have when Devontae Smith even said we have to have difficult conversations inside the building. And you should.
Yeah, the players once
when
again.
when you got members of a team acting like fools, they should fix things. And that's what they did.
That's what they did, and kudos to them for doing it.
Normally, if somebody pays to have a plane fly a message, it's not normally a tempered, like, rational
No,
take.
of course. Yeah, you're right.
That is the truth.
But there are people that are in agreement with the banner.
Which is just sheer. In this issue, now wait a minute. And again, to make it clear, there have been times the Philly media should own the fact that they've amplified something. Or even gone too far.
Like Deshaun Jackson.
Right, gone too far, yes. Well, certain people should.
One individual.
As far as this story, this is a completely internal combustion. Nothing external.
Yep, absolutely.
They did it all.
All right, let's talk to the people. Let's go to our man Rick in Easton. What's up, Rick? How you doing, brother?
Hi, Rick.
Great stuff, guys. Real quick, loudest I've heard that stadium in a long time. It's really good to see that the players played through the drama and focused on the logo of the Steelers. Just had to beat that franchise last night.
When AJ had that catch on the opening drive, it got loud. It popped off.
And here's the point, guys. You alluded to it. Tomlin is a hell of a defensive mind.
Yep.
And he wasn't dumb. He knew the Eagles were going to do that. You could see the linebacker was gapping diagonally, the A gap, even though they had five guys. They had five players, guys, in the nickel defense, and there was gaping holes in the secondary. And by the way, I focused on DeJean on that first hit. You could see his body. I watched him all the way from my club seat section where I am. I watched him all the way come to the bench, and they came up and asked him. It looked like they were asking him how he was, because you could see that he did get rattled on that hit. So I totally agree with you on that.
That was a late hit, man. I don't know how they missed that one.
Could have been. But you know what, guys? When they were 4th and 7. Towards the end of the third quarter, it almost looked like Tomlin tipped over his king on a chessboard saying, I want to avoid not getting blown out. This game is over, because they have to go for it at 4th and 7 at that point of the game. They can't throw in the towel there. And I really thought that it was kind of game over at that point. But the bottom line here is there was close to 3,000 Eagles, Steeler fans there. Yeah, and you couldn't avoid walking by them, and it was such a pleasure saying, you guys and the Cowboys have something in common. Those 5 and 6 rings that your franchises have are not going to help you
now,
tonight.
Rick, I'm going to tell you this. I
Thanks for the call,
I
Rick.
went around the lots yesterday. I go and see friends that have their tailgate set up and everything like that. I even put out a tweet. The way the Eagles fans and Steeler fans were coexisting in that parking lot, it's unlike any other opposing fan base would be coming here. It was completely classy. I saw tailgates playing games together, tossing the ball together. There was something different about the vibe in the lots yesterday. You could feel it was a big game, and you could also feel the respect between the fan base.
Well, and as I said yesterday on our
I don't think there's a rivalry between the two teams.
No, I think it's like brotherly rivalry, right?
Yeah.
And I said yesterday during the pregame show, we have to realize a lot of Steelers fans live here because they don't want to live in Pittsburgh because it sucks.
Well, then you're just adding to the rivalry then by the.
No, they could still be fans of their team, but they admit that they don't want to live there, which is why they live here.
Yeah, but they're like the closest proximity team that we don't really have beef with. That's why a lot of people in this area love the Baltimore Orioles because they're kind of close to us, but there's no issue between them and the Phils. I like the Steelers-Eagles dynamic.
Yeah, you can't love the Orioles. Our Brendan Petrelli is one of those guys.
Well,
He's a violation.
I like the Orioles. I don't like them like they're my team, but having all
he
the
wears
teams,
Orioles gear. I don't get that.
Petrelli wears Orioles stuff.
That's gross.
Well, he's weird, but
he is weird. Yes, he is.
All of our other proximity teams are either divisional rivals or they're New York, so we hate them or something like that. This is kind of a nice step out of that.
But the Steeler fans came into your backyard and our building, and they didn't act like a-holes either.
No, it was cool.
They came in and didn't act like, here we go, Steelers.
No, everyone
they were classy.
Everyone at Xfinity Live yesterday was awesome. We were talking to some Steelers fans during breaks.
It was I actually would love nothing more than to see Steelers-Eagles Super Bowl because we'd kick their ass again.
No.
What?
Dude, I need to see Eagles-Bills. I need to see the battle of the psychos. You want to talk about tailgates?
It would be a tailgate.
The Philadelphia, Buffalo fan bases?
Well, the perfect thing is Philadelphia and Buffalo and New Orleans, it's the perfect town to host.
That's crazy.
It would be the perfect town. Bourbon Street is the perfect place to host Eagles-Bills fans. It would be a zoo. And I bet
would be.
And I bet the fan bases would get along royally.
Yes. Dude, we will be breaking tables in unison.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great.
Did you see the video that I put up from the lots yesterday, by the way?
We saw it.
Oh, with the guys doing the bench press?
The dude's benching with a black and mild and just absolutely ripping out puffs and ripping out reps.
And he was.
I love this city.
The Philly-Buffalo.
That man was fit, Connor. He was getting it done.
The Philly-Buffalo dynamic would be
fantastic.
Would be fantastic. Let's go to Mikey in my old hometown of Mullica Hill. What's up, Mikey?
Hey, guys. Good morning.
Hi, Mike.
What's up, man?
I just wanted to talk about the big win. And, Hurts had a good game, and he did what he said he was going to do, get the ball to A.J. Brown. And, A.J. had a great game. I just think they got to clean a few things up on defense.
What's that? What stood out?
When they fumbled the ball a couple times.
Well, one was on a punt return.
Yeah, special teams.
And AJ, and they fumbled. That wasn't on defense. That was Jalen Hurts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, it's...
Thanks for the call, Mikey. We appreciate it.
I didn't mean to shoot full holes there.
It's all right. Us Mullica Hill guys.
Nothing to do with
we
the
stick
defense.
Together from the hill.
You did.
Yeah. The Hurts, that can't happen, the Hurts fumble.
No. The thing is, though,
but that was a great T.J. Watt.
T.J. Watt punched that perfectly.
He's such a good player,
He's
man.
a freaking monster.
He's such a good player.
Monster.
But you knew that Steelers offense wasn't going to put up points.
No, that's because you could hear the quack. You could. Every time that Russell threw it, you could hear it quack, quack, quack.
All right. Coming up next, you'll hear the montage one more time that our man Brendan Gunn put together on the historic 10th straight win for the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll take some more of your texts and your calls as well. It's been a joyous day talking about this Eagles team where it seems like all the problems, all the questions were answered. What a nice day, Johnny. It's Kincade and Salciunas, and Connor will give his order for the third and final Wawa order for the $50 Wawa gift card. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports update.
A historic win for the Birds. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update is brought to you by WorldwideStereo.com. Worldwide Stereo, rocking since 1979 from 4K TVs and speaker systems to vinyl and headphones. Find the best gifts and enjoy up to 36 months, no interest financing. Visit them in-store or at WorldwideStereo.com. The Eagles had a historic win yesterday over the Steelers, 27-13. The score isn't what made it special, though. The Eagles with 10 straight victories. That's a franchise record. Crazy with how long this team's been around. That's the first time they've hit that mark. Believe it or not, they also did it by passing the ball. Jalen Hurts, 290 yards through the air, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 each to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, who are both over 100 yards receiving. So the Eagles answered a lot of questions from this week, and Jalen Hurts reminded us that we were asking them.
So that's what y'all want to see, huh?
Pretty straight to the point from QB1, but he's right. That's what we were looking for and what some of the criticism was asking for during the week. And with a loss by the Lions to the Bills yesterday, the Eagles are also tied for the best record in the NFC. They'll keep an eye on a potential 1 seed. They'll play Washington this Sunday, the Eagles will, with a chance to win the NFC East with a victory. In less positive news, the Sixers had a tough weekend. Joel Embiid sustained a right sinus fracture against the Pacers. He'll miss some time. Rookie Jared McCain is out indefinitely after a lateral meniscus tear. They'll play the Hornets tonight at 7 p.m. You can hear that game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Can you feel it?
The Eagles are back.
heard you on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Don't forget, happy Wawa days with Kincade and Salciunas. Gift cards are great for grabbing something while you're on the run at your local Wawa. Limited design cards make a more festive or personal gift, especially for those who may collect different Wawa cards each year. Wawa also has gift cards for some of your favorite brands, including Apple, Xbox, Visa, Amazon, MasterCard, Google, Microsoft, Sony, and Uber. I still remember the Wawa gift card was big for like when you're in high school or in college. My sister's husband, they've been married for a while now. They got married in 2016, I believe. I have it
Your
correct.
brother-in-law.
My brother-in-law, when they first started dating, got me like a $15 gift card to Wawa for Christmas. Like we hadn't known each other long enough where like he didn't have to get me something. Dude, that $15 Wawa gift card was as if he gave me gold.
Yes.
I was a high schooler.
You're a high school punk.
You know what I mean? Like had my Toyota Tundra 2002 cost more money to get to the Wawa than it did to actually use the gift card. But that Wawa gift card for a teenager, that thing's gold. So, Connor, you have to add the third order to the Wawa Kincade and Salciunas run. And again, if you've been listening, you know what John ordered. You know what I ordered. You'll now hear what Connor ordered. And the person that gets all three correct in our next segment will win our first of 5 $50 Wawa gift cards that we're giving away this week. So, Connor, which is it?
Yeah, I'm going to go with, listen, long weekend. All right, a lot of stuff going on. Eagles, big win. You might be a little tired this morning. I'm going to go sugar-free Red Bull.
There you go. So somebody knows the whole order.
And not just a normal Red
No,
Bull.
I'm watching my figures. So
like
sugar-free Red Bull.
It's funny is when I will, like maybe once a month, I'll have a Red Bull because I'm
yeah, it
feeling
surprises
a little bit.
me every time
and
you do
always say, because I don't drink soda, I don't drink.
No.
But the sugar-free Red Bull is a nice item.
It throws me off when he comes in with it.
With a Red Bull, you're like, let's go.
I'll be honest with you. It throws me off.
Because I usually am someone who does not need one.
No, you're
like I should actually
Trust
be
me, I
banned.
know.
I should actually be banned from using.
They should not let you have those. You know, you need weed more than you do Red Bulls. All right.
Well, they don't sell that at Wawa. Just so you know.
For now.
Just so you know.
For now, you just wait.
Yes. Wawa is not your local dispensary.
They'll get into the game at some point.
It's where you go.
They got
after
it
you.
all.
Yes, they have it all.
All right, Connor, what do we have on the text line? I want to play our montage one more time because Brendan Gunn put together an incredible montage of yesterday's victory. But before we get to that, what are the people saying?
We need to talk about this. And I don't know that we have yet today, especially not in any big capacity. Colby from Central PA checks in, says, great win for the Birds. Hurts looked revived. Balanced is a great word to describe last night. There are a bunch of positives, and one of them that stuck out besides the passing game was Jake Elliott. He looked like he didn't have any trouble at all in that game.
I tweeted this out yesterday at 6:23. Is Jake Elliott back, regardless of the penalty? Good to see him finally put one through the uprights from deep. It was 48 yards, I believe.
48, and then it was 41 the second time.
Right, because of the penalty, and they got a couple more plays out of it. But it was good. We see this all the time with athletes. Sometimes you just need to see one go in. Like if you're a three-point shooter, you could be 0 of 7 from 3. You finally see one go in. Like Buddy Hield last year in the playoffs. One finally went in against the Knicks, and then he goes off, and then Nick Nurse doesn't play him again.
I will tell you, Jake Elliott not having a 50-yard field goal this whole season and being 0 for 5.
Still alarming.
And being the only kicker with that kind of thing still alarms me.
Yeah, that's like the passing game where it's like you kind of believe based on the track record he can do it, but you haven't seen it recently. The tough thing with that is, unlike the passing game, you can't force a 50-yard field goal. It's not like you get to the 40 and just say, we'll kick it.
And kickers go off the rails fast.
Yeah. They really do. It's like relievers in baseball,
when they lose it, they lose it. We're hoping Jake does not. And the Eagles showed great confidence in him, and he rewarded them yesterday.
Yeah, he did. Because I literally asked Andrew DiCecco. Was it Andrew or Tim? I think it was Andrew. I asked during the pregame show if a certain situation comes up, and I literally laid it out. I said like 4th and 6 from the 45. Okay. Are they going for it, kicking, or punting? And I don't even think Andrew said kicking. I think he said punt.
Yeah, I think.
Because he said the game's going to be close, so the field position will matter in this game. I think he said punt. And they went with the field goal yesterday, and it went through. So good for Jake Elliott, man.
There was one little glitch.
What's that?
Manly men.
Yeah. Well, he got hit as he was punting.
26 yards.
It was bad. It's all right.
That was a Shankosaurus.
Listen, man. Man's men. We still ride with them on the show.
We're pro punter here.
Kincade and Salciunas, man's men. All right?
That's what people say on the streets.
By the way, that the punt did not make the montage. But
yeah, I didn't
sit
think it
back and enjoy what took place yesterday. The Eagles win their 10th straight game, which is a franchise record.
It is America's Game of the Week on a crisp day in December. Beautiful day for a game and a great one, too, as the 10-3 Steelers take on the 11-2 Eagles. The Battle of Pennsylvania, if you will.
Hurts to throw it again. Blitz is coming. Sees it. There's A.J. Brown off the slant. So already, second play, he's got a target. Going to pick up 7. Hurts looking over the middle. Got Smith wide open inside the 25. Devontae Smith all the way down to the 20. And a good-looking opening drive for the Eagles. Here's Jake Elliott, who's been a tremendous kicker for this team, but has struggled this year. And his first attempt from 34. Up and good. Third down and 5. 4-man rush. Hurts gets it on the flat to Gainwell. Kenny Gainwell with the first down. That was sick. Spin move got around Dante Jackson. 3rd and 10. Wilson in trouble, and he is sacked. Josh Sweat gets home, and a stand by this Eagles #1 defense. Second and goal. Hurts firing long. Who else? A.J. Brown. Touchdown. They're doing the roll with kid and play dance. Is that what they're doing right there? I guess they're friends again. Just like that.
Did we just become best friends? Yep. For sure. That was our moment to tell everybody shut up. Honestly. So yeah.
37. Here's the down at the top. Hurts lets it go. Brown got it again. First down, breaks the tackle. A.J. Brown down to the 25, and he's having a day. 17 more for Brown in his 5th catch already. Hurts, pressure, slings it. It is caught for the touchdown. Devontae Smith.
It was pretty good. I thought Jalen did a great job of taking what the defense gave him. He had 200-yard receivers. I always think that's cool when that happens. And Jalen was in complete control. Just another good day by him.
Here's Wilson. Pressure coming. He's in trouble, and he is sacked. Nolan Smith around the edge. Harris drops the ball. It is loose. Still down to Brown. I think Philadelphia has it. They do. Darius Slay came up with the Najee Harris fumble. Hurts design run. Wide open up the middle too. Hurts makes a man miss. Hurts taken down inside the 30. Boy, that thing parted like the Red Sea, and Hurts took advantage of it to pick up 23. Hurts looking out the flat, gets into Gainwell, makes a couple miss, still going. This Gainwell fighting towards the end zone, and he's taken down near the 1. 1st and goal. That's the second terrific move he's made on a 3rd down today. Do it again. Hurts shove forward. Jalen Hurts is in. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
When you have everybody in the room that just wants to improve and do the things they know that we're capable of, that's special.
An impressive 27-13 win for the Eagles, and Nick Sirianni here at home as Battle of Pennsylvania goes to the Eagles again as they up their record to 12-2.
I just saw an effort to get better through the midst of, again, what seemed like chaos on the outside, but was just something that we used as something to kind of galvanize us and get better from, and they did that today.
So that's what y'all want to see, huh?
There it is. Great job by #1 BG in the city of Philadelphia right now in the power rankings.
Well, now that
Brendan
Brandon Graham got out of the doghouse, he takes his proper spot back.
No, but then Brendan Gunn follows up with that great montage. That's what I'm saying.
It was a great montage.
You can't. He didn't lose a spot.
I think they should arm wrestle for it.
Yeah, well, then Brandon Graham will then take back #1 if that were the case. I have zero faith that Brendan Gunn could beat Brandon Graham, especially because the injury's on the left arm.
Oh, no. I would love to see Brandon Graham swat Brendan Gunn across the room, just because it would be fun entertainment from an athletic standpoint.
Toward tricep side. Now, we also have to. Where does Brandon Lee Gouton fall in this?
Brandon Lee Gouton would smack the hell out of Brendan Gunn.
Yeah, because he's
a beast. But he's a beast. I feel safer in the press box being near
That's
him.
another BG.
There's a lot of BGs in this city.
Yeah, but he's BLG.
There's only one true CT.
Yeah, but he's BLG.
Come on, man. He is BLG. You're right.
There's different.
The notorious BLG.
And he is a hell of a content creator too, Brandon Lee.
He is amazing.
Really good stuff.
Better than CT.
Much better than CT. Or 18, as he's also known.
I've never gone by the number. Leave me alone.
Yeah, whoa.
Are you 100%?
What is your phone? Have you changed
It's
it?
the city skyline. Has been for
you
like a
changed
year.
it. Yeah, you changed it.
That was like years
For the
ago.
longest time, it was
used to be.
18. It's like Peyton Manning and him had to share a number.
I had to make sure it was my phone.
All right, coming up next, did you listen closely to try to win the $50 Wawa gift card? What was the order? From John, myself, and Connor. You have to have all three. So what we'll do is at the beginning of the segment, we will give out the number to call. And then number one, BG, will find the winner. We will do the key three during it. And then we will have that winner tell us what the order was. It was Kincade and Salciunas on a Victory Football Monday, presented to us by Pierce Phelps, Bryan Heating and Air Conditioning Contractors. Visit nopaybryan.com. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Can you feel it?
The Eagles are back to being Super Bowl contenders.
This team's got a real shot.
97.5 The Fanatic on this Victory Monday morning. Been a lot of fun today talking about that win for the Eagles yesterday.
What a great morning.
And it's been nice talking about a game, John. Like, not storylines, nonsensical storylines, whether we agree with A.J. Brown or not. It's just nice to be able to talk about a game, and we talked about that all day today. It's been a lot of fun. All right, so we're about to do the Key 3 presented by our friends at Von C. Brewing Company. But for your chance to win the $50 Wawa gift card, we will be doing this each day this week for Happy Wawa Days with Kincade and Salciunas. What is the order? John's, mine, and Connor's. We each gave one item for the Kincade and Salciunas order. The first person to get it right on the contest line at 215-263-0975 will be the winner of our first of 5 $50 Wawa gift cards. Again, 215-263-0975. The person that gets all 3 items correct will win the gift card. While we try to sort out who wins, it is time now for the Kincade and Salciunas Key 3 presented by Von C.
Now, the Kincade and Salciunas Key 3. Today's best.
Johnny, happy victory, where we get to talk about a game Monday morning.
I have wanted to do this show since the drive home last night, but it is a beautiful Monday.
Jalen Hurts, 25 of 32 for 290 yards and 2 touchdowns. A.J. Brown, 8 catches, 110 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Smith, another guy. All this talk between Hurts and A.J. Brown, we didn't even mention Devontae Smith all week long. Maybe he was upset by the amount of targets and receptions that he's had this season.
That's because he kept it to himself.
He did. 11 catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown. What a great day for the passing offense, which was talked about ad nauseum last week. And what a great day for the Eagles as a whole, beating the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-13. And just once again, checking off another box of, hey, we can be a Super Bowl contender. We could be in New Orleans in just a couple of months.
Oh, no. I'm already singing it. Going to New Orleans. Going to New Orleans. We're going to New Orleans, folks. Detroit's 2 injured. The Eagles' offense and defense are better than Kansas City. The Bills just gave up 86 points in 2 games. The Eagles have given up 86 points in their last 5 games. They've already beaten Green Bay. They've already beaten the Rams. They've already beaten the Ravens. Already beaten the Steelers. This is the best team in football with the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL, points per game. In a million years, and there is nobody in this town who believed that was going to happen.
Have all your concerns been addressed? I just don't know what's left.
I think what's left is the contrarian, because again, the resume is now good enough. You've dominated the Ravens and the Steelers, 2 of the top 4 teams in the AFC. You have beaten teams like Green Bay, the Rams. You've done your job. You've been road warriors.
And that Green Bay win was before they found this
figured
identity,
out
this team.
I would say the contrarian is the only one who has something to say today negative about
And they will always be around. The contrarian will always be here.
Because here's what you're going to do. The contrarian, if you go to work today and you navigate one of these people, and we all have them in our life.
Oh, yeah.
They are picking up the goalpost, and now they're going to move. They're going to try to move it on you. Just say, I got no time for it today. You know you're just trying to get my goat because it makes no sense. This football team, Andrew, is the best team right now in the NFL.
Yesterday, they answered the call. Yesterday, the question of whether or not they could win a game by passing the football against a defense that allows you to throw on them a little bit. They're just opportunistic, and they intercept the football pretty well. Jalen Hurts, 0 interceptions. Jalen Hurts, I don't think had a bad throw. Like, I don't remember a throw yesterday.
We went, where you go? Yo, what are you doing, Jalen?
No, he dropped back 32 times and executed 25 of them in terms of completions, but the other 7, I don't believe, and we'll double check, I don't believe he had a turnover-worthy play.
No, I don't believe he did either.
He was incredible yesterday.
More importantly, did you see just the jump in his step? There was an energy out of Jalen Hurts, the leader, yesterday that I believe we haven't seen as much, especially early in games.
Yeah.
They were focus-driven, and it was wild. The building reacted. The fans reacted to it, and they fed off of that. That was the happiest that building has been all year long.
Right.
Every game. That is the happiest the home fans have been. And they felt it, and they felt it early on. They felt that they could bully the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they bullied the Pittsburgh Steelers. I thought 12. I thought 12 was going to make us smile.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
They're at 12, John.
That's incredible.
There's still 3 games left. They're at 12. The Eagles are 12-2 with 3 games left to be played.
And that was where you, Connor, and I all said before the season they're going to be 12-5.
Yeah.
This team has exceeded every expectation. Everyone. It is a beautiful morning. Look, Christmas is about dreams. It's a beautiful morning for everybody to dream.
Damn right, man.
Because it's not this team's making it a reality.
All right, that's the Kincade Salciunas Key 3. 3 best minutes from today's show brought to us by our friends at Vonsey Brewing Company. The OG Pills Legendary Philly Lager, you got to check that one out. A gold medal winner at the 2023 World Beer Cup for the best American Pilsner. We got the Walking on Clouds, which is Vonsey's flagship hazy IPA. And Johnny.
And the Vienna Lager, the 2-time Best of Pennsylvania winner that's made with all German ingredients. Get on into VonseyBrewing.com. Visit them in Norristown.
Love it. All right.
It's a great vacation spot.
Apparently, Lynn in Drexel Hill, who called the contest line, 215-263-0975.
Which is the rules.
Has the correct answer. Lynn, what was the order?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, buddy.
This is my first time calling in. I'm glad to hear all y'all. Y'all do a great job.
Oh, thanks,
Lynn.
The order was meatball sub with the provolone.
Nice.
The hot pretzel with the cheddar. The hot cheddar pretzel. And the sugar-free Red Bull.
Damn right, Lynn. Now, for extra credit, and you
Lynn's
get
a winner.
You get absolutely nothing else. But for extra credit, what size was the meatball with Prove?
That's extra.
It was a shorty.
There you
You
go,
are on
Shorty.
fire. Good job, Lynn.
Good job, Lynn.
All right, Lynn,
Great
we'll
job.
put you
Thanks
on
for
hold to
listening,
get your
buddy.
information for your $50 Wawa gift card. Happy Wawa days with Kincade and
Now,
Salciunas.
tomorrow we might start it earlier. Tomorrow we might start it in the 6 o'clock hour
Damn
and
right.
give it away in the 8. You never know. You never
Got
ever
a lot
know.
of audiences to appease here, man.
Hey, be a generous partner of H&H Heating and Air Conditioning. They're great folks. They make a donation to the American Association for Cancer Research. Go to 975thefanatic.com/AACR because cancer research saves lives, and we greatly appreciate all of you who do.
Damn right we do. Everybody have a great, great, great rest of your day on a Victory Monday morning where the storyline was the game, Johnny. What a beautiful
Wasn't
thing.
that nice? And tomorrow, I bet it will be too.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, wait a minute. Unless somebody talks tonight. You never know.
No, I think
Let's
we'll
hope not.
be good. You know, there's probably somebody that was waking up this morning going, I bet you they have nothing to talk about.
No, we have plenty to talk
We have
about.
plenty to talk about. We have
And
a lot to say.
I'm walking to New Orleans.
Damn right, man. Everybody have a great
Walking
rest of
to
your day.
New Orleans.
Mike Missanelli show coming your way next with Bill Colurlo and Ray Dunn.